This is for the nerds, this is for the brainiacs, this what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back, you ain't gonna touch me, you not gonna do nothing, you are not above me, I bet you wish you was me, I know it, I know.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to day 2 of this new experiment that we're running. This is the Only Friends podcast. I'm joined by 6 of my closest friends. Young Landon, Tice, the Prince, Tice is nice. Poo Dog Melissa joining me here. Conrad, the laugh track. My boy Brian, like 7 LaManna. Andre behind the scenes working all of the lower thirds as we speak. And then finally, my co-host, the one and only Christian Soto.
We're back, man. I heard you had a good morning.
I got violated today.
There's good and bads to that.
No. First of all, the word violation or violated in this instance means unwilling participant. I made a mistake. All right. Backstory. I peed blood one time in January. I peed a blood clot. I didn't think it was a big deal.
What?
I didn't think it was a big deal. And then I started asking some other people, and they were like, yeah, this is a big fucking deal. And I'm like, well, my body is a temple. It was just clearly releasing some extra blood that we didn't need.
My body is a temple sounds like some astrology, but go ahead.
All right, relax.
Facts.
So after a lot of arm twisting, I went and got it checked out. Went to the urologist, and he said, okay, we're going to get you a CAT scan, see if you have a kidney stone, and I'm going to shove a camera up your pee hole the next time you come in here. And I go, whoa, doc, let's slow down for a second. Maybe the image will just tell us all we need to know. I don't know. He's like, no, precautionary thing. We have to do this. I'm like, okay, fine. So that was like January 14th. Schedule my...
What the hell,
Exactly.
dude?
Exactly. This is my point. So I scheduled the CAT scan. I get it like 3 days later. And now I go to schedule my follow-up appointment with the urologist. And he's like, I'm booked till March 16th.
You could literally just die by then.
That's what I'm thinking. It's like, hey, you're telling me that I have to get this procedure done because it's that big of a deal. And then you're also saying like, but wait 2 months.
You got some poker player insurance.
I just got insurance. So I booked the appointment. And like, as this morning, as I was waking up this morning, trying to decide if I should even go or not, because it's been 2 months. I haven't peed blood since. Seems like everything's probably fine. I'm looking at the paper, and it tells me I have a $100 cancellation fee, and to get the procedure done, to get the procedure done is $150 of my deductible, and I'm just like,
I love it.
God damn it!
Like, I got you.
I can't pass on a bargain, so I go, and I'm thinking like, okay, it's always set up to be worse than it actually is, right? Like they really try to prep the mind and let you know. He's like, I've had this done myself. It's an uncomfortable 90 seconds. You'll live, but I'm telling you it's uncomfortable. I'm like, yeah, whatever, man. Okay, like, can't be that bad. So I go in there. They go, pull your pants down around your ankles and lay on that bed. I'm like, okay, you got it.
Yeah, that sounds like some military shit.
So this
prison.
So I lay down. This nurse grabs my dick and just like slaps a bunch of lidocaine on it to numb it up. And he goes, doctor will be in a few minutes, and just like leaves. I'm like, all right, cool. 45 minutes later, he comes staggering in like it's just no big deal. Like I haven't just been laying there with my shit out.
Wait, time out. It's the first time in your life you haven't felt your dick, right?
It didn't even go numb. It didn't even go numb. Like I don't even know. I think she just put water on it. It's like some fucking pseudo effect nonsense. I'm just like, okay, whatever. Let's get this over with, please. So now he comes in with another nurse. I'm like, well, what do you need an extra set of hands for here? Like, I don't need the whole world.
Well, they have to like watch to make sure that nothing shady happens.
No, she was just holding my dick the whole time.
Yeah, but someone has to watch that.
Oh, she has to make sure he's not doing anything.
It's
he's jamming an instrument in my pee hole, man.
I think any time that there's like something like that, someone has to be present.
Okay, well, I got to tell you, I would have been more comfortable if she wasn't there. But in any event, he pulls up this camera that Andre just showed you. And by the way, at least 5 times in circumference of what I was expecting. I was expecting like a fiber optic cable, you know, like something like thread thin. No. This thing is girthy. Damn. And I'm just like, you're going to put that in there?
That's
and he's like, take a deep breath. Whoop. I'm just like, yo. Like,
that's crazy.
Actually, wasn't that bad initially. Like the insertion part, the lidocaine probably did numb me or whatever. Didn't really feel anything. And he's like going through. He's like, your urethra looks fine. Yada yada yada. He's like showing me on. I'm watching this live action.
That's not for me.
I'm just like watching live action, you know. And he goes, okay, I'm gonna need you to take a deep breath and wiggle your toes. This part's gonna be uncomfortable. I'm like, this part? What are we about to do? And so I listen. I take a deep breath. I start wiggling my toes, and he just starts jamming. And I'm like, that is a weird sensation. He goes, oh, you're tough. I know that doesn't feel good. And I'm like, doesn't feel like it felt. You know when you're like have to pee to the point that you're gonna explode?
Yeah.
It felt like that, only with like sharp pinches at the same time, and it was exiting the urethra into the bladder. He's like, yeah, that's definitely the worst part. Okay, now I'm going to flip the camera upside down. This is going to be a little bit uncomfortable too.
So it just gets gradually more uncomfortable.
Yeah, and so like now he's doing like a 360 turn with the camera. Like imagine.
My man is literally driving inside of me.
Yeah.
My man's on a K-turn right now. Like, what the fuck?
He's like, there's your kidney. That all looks great. Oh, let's take a look at the colon on the way out. Oh, is your poop hard? I'm like, do we have to have this conversation right now, man? Like, maybe get this over with.
That's nuts, dude.
So he yanks it out, tells me everything's perfect. Basically, I wasted my time.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, this is great. I go to pee, and it's like knives. Like,
oh, really?
The most painful thing I could imagine. That was by far the worst part. But for the last hour, the reason why we're even getting a late start, I've just been like nauseous sitting here. I don't know why. Just body trauma, I guess. Can't really handle the fact that a foreign object's been in me for the better part of 2 minutes.
Welcome to your 40s, man. The procedures only get worse from here.
Yeah.
You're only 5 years away from your first colonoscopy.
We have to
well.
start
That's
them
what
when
I
we're
thought you were getting
18. Girls have to start when they're 18, getting
What?
torture devices
Yeah,
shoved
yeah.
up our
Oh, yeah,
cervixes,
yeah. I thought you
swirled
meant
around.
colonoscopy.
This fucking metal-looking
mammogram and shit,
toothbrush for
No,
a pap smear.
Pap smear. She showed me the
Yeah.
device. It looks like a fucking egg beater.
It's not cool.
How do you
It's like a
even
spiky
spell
egg
it?
beater.
What?
Pap smear?
Pap smear.
Pap.
I don't. You're the.
P-A-P.
Pap smear.
PAPSMEAR.
Pap.
Wow.
I don't know if that's accurate or not, but that's what I would have went with.
Yeah,
Sounds
that's
phonetic.
right.
I heard colonoscopies got better. They did something where you don't have to drink the barium now or something along those
No,
lines.
you still got to prep. Like, you got to do the prep. I only know this because my girlfriend's a nurse practitioner. But you have to, it's like the night before you drink this stuff and it clears you all out. And then they put you under. But, I mean, I assume after you wake up, it's probably not so comfortable.
It can't be.
So you're good.
I'm good. I have a clean bill of health as I
All right, man.
expected.
Congratulations.
That's
you.
the most
God
important
damn.
thing.
I mean, it's all
Yeah.
about health and wellness.
All right, Berkey's healthy.
You
Round of
know,
applause for good health.
I got to tell you, if I could go back to this morning when I was weighing the EV of spending $100 to not go and paying $150 to get the procedure done, I would have ate the $100.
But it wouldn't have eaten at you like in your
No,
brain?
I haven't thought about this twice. I forgot today was my appointment. I got a text message this morning.
Damn.
Like,
All
it's
right.
been 2 months. I'm not dead yet. What could possibly be wrong?
That is fair.
Worst
I mean,
part? No idea where the blood came from. He's just like, it's an anomaly. Like, yeah, a fucking anomaly.
Yeah. This system
Melissa.
is a little bit funny, man.
I got this. I don't know if this looks too friendly.
Oh, yeah, no, that
Whoa.
makes it look like a nice fluffy thing.
Oh, yeah. That is not
It
what
ain't.
she showed me.
Yeah, no, it looks like a dish brush, like with the metal and the
yeah.
bristles, but it's smaller. And they shove it up your cervix and twist it around. And we don't get numbed. We don't get numbed or any of that sissy stuff.
I didn't get. You think that they had some numbing agent in my bladder when they're jamming this
We don't even
5-inch
get numbed
cord in there?
we get this speculum shoved in, and they crank it open so that they can, and then you can see and you can feel the air breezing through your cervix, and then
what
they
are the
go,
topics for today? Yo, this is crazy.
Yeah,
what are the
that's a
topics for
speculum.
today?
That's
Let's
a
talk,
speculum.
where are we going with this?
Oh
Let's-
no! I just see where you crank.
I think we're on medieval
Yeah.
torture devices and how they're used in the medical
guys have
field.
no idea.
I'll
Yeah.
take
Rest of
painful
today.
procedures for 800, please. Fuck, man.
All right,
We-
so where we at?
Well, there is some breaking news that we have to cover. This is the biggest thing that maybe has happened in our lifetime.
Stop. Go
And
ahead.
possibly ever in the history of man.
9/11.
The Senate has passed a bill to allow daylight savings time forever.
Let's
Let's
go.
fucking go, baby. Let's fucking go.
We're unimpressed.
No more getting dark at 4:45 in the Las Vegas Valley starting 2023.
Don't get too excited.
Why?
Well, it still has to pass the House,
Nah, it's gonna
and it
pass.
still
Nah,
has
that's-
to, and
that's-
Biden still has to sign it.
That's an easy
Now-
pass.
We're just
No, I mean,
preemptively
it's
cheering.
like
I don't
pretty
want
automatic,
to.
like it's
I don't
gonna
want to rain
happen.
on anybody's parade, but you know how the government works sometimes.
The wheels
But
of justice.
the
turn
fact that it
slowly.
did get passed with unanimous consent, you would think that it would go through the House pretty smoothly, and Biden would sign it. But
I would hope so. Also, I think it's kind of funny that they said that it'll be beginning in November 2023. In all actuality, it will be beginning in March 2023. Because what happens is they just won't turn the clocks back
Well,
in
that's-
November.
right, so that's when it,
That's the start.
that's the start.
Well, technically, the time would actually begin in March. It would just be official in November.
Is there any objection as to not pass this thing?
No.
There are like some old cranky people who are just like, our kids are going to be waiting at the bus stop
Why
in
do
the
they
dark.
care?
At
Yeah, that's like the
7:30.
biggest
Years
argument
longer
is it's
anyway.
dark for the kids when they go to school. Which I mean, it,
It's
Dude, it was
dark
dark.
a bit of a
anyway.
reasonable.
Yo, first of all, why does school
We don't want
start
them getting
so
hit by-
freaking
Why do they
early?
think predators are out at
this is
7
nuts.
no,
o'clock?
I don't think it's
a.m.?
that. I think
Like,
it's
that's
more
crazy.
I think it's more of them getting hit by cars.
Like kids have to wake up at 6 to get there at 7.
Yeah.
Like it's nuts.
It's
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah, they're children. Let
I
them
wouldn't be able
sleep.
to do it today.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
We don't
I mean,
do it.
I
9
remember,
to 3 is
Yeah,
fine.
10 to 5.
I remember
10 to
waking
4,
up
yeah.
like and just going fatigue, fatigue.
Also, school days are too long, but that's a
Way
whole
too
nother
long.
subject in and of itself. I think 9 to 3 would be like completely reasonable.
It is 9 to 3.
No, it's like 7 to 3.
My
Like
school
seven.
started
Yeah.
at like
Yeah.
My-
8:30
Depends.
to
Yeah,
like
it's like-
3:30.
My homeroom was 7:20 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like high school changes everything. Like all of a sudden you're like there's like a very early.
A homeroom for us was like 15 minutes. We sat through announcements and then they shipped us
that's,
off to the next class.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like
went to
sometimes the first class literally does start at 7:30. You really have to like.
Yeah.
I went to school from
That's
3 to
nuts.
6.
He went to school for very few years.
He went to school for 3 to
Were
6
those
years.
grades or was that the time that you were actually?
That was his
3 to
age.
6. He started in third
Yeah,
grade.
he went to school from 3 to 6. and that was
All right,
it.
so we got daylight savings times. Are we gonna get it like?
That
Are we gonna switch to Celsius too? Like
I mean,
metric system.
Honestly,
no
like,
more Fahrenheit.
look, I'm as much of an imperialist as they come, but like we're the idiots.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And we should be on the
what's
metric
up with
system.
that?
It's so much simpler.
We're really stupid for not knowing the metric system.
The metric system makes
Everything's
so
to
much
100.
sense.
Like,
Right.
dude, come
Like,
on.
honestly, if there's ever been a greater sign of the arrogance of the American
just
dynasty.
stubborn right now, right?
Yeah,
We're just
it's
stubborn.
literally the not switching over to the metric system.
right.
It's just
Literally,
like,
like,
no, fuck
0,
you.
Yeah.
100.
The rest of the world will bend to us. We're not going to learn another language, and we're not going to adopt Celsius.
Yeah, that's right.
That's it.
That's pretty incredible, man.
Wait, what's
big-
the difference?
Big news
What's
for.
the difference?
That's a
I
whole
mean, you
nother,
would learn
that's
that
a whole
in
nother
school.
You
episode.
learned that in grade 7, Conrad, but you didn't make it that far.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
you
only
were-
went grades 3 to 6.
Yeah. You learned the metric
bro.
system in like 7th grade probably. So you almost got there.
Fuck.
Yeah. It's okay.
Let's
You're-
not
you're in Amer-
listen. You're
You're in
from
America
Florida.
now. You know, you're in America, so you don't have to worry about
Yeah,
it.
all they teach you down there is bath salts and how to eat faces.
That's
Yeah,
true.
you're out there in Florida. Like,
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah, Florida man learns and understands metric system.
That's actually a
breaking
headline.
news.
Yeah.
Landon went to private school. Let's get this right.
Yeah.
You went to private school?
Absolutely.
You rich.
Did you see a shirt?
I bought this shirt
school
myself.
Landon.
Excuse me.
Private school Landon, let's go.
LeMan and I
I got a
go to private
scholarship.
school.
No, we
going
went
to
to a
private
very,
school?
very public.
You know why? Because we're from the grizzled state of Pennsylvania.
Right.
In the blue-collar city
That's
of
right.
Pittsburgh, PA.
Steel mill
where
in every town.
every town, including Leechburg, Pennsylvania, is
Right.
shut down now. And now it's, a drug mecca of the rural valley.
That's
But
what
By
happens.
drugs,
That
I
is
mean
what
high
happens when the
You
factory's
guys don't
closed.
even realize that he was like literally trying to transition to like.
No, I was, but that's fine. Whatever. Huge news for us. There's hope back in the valley again. We've replaced Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
You don't seem too excited.
In the words of Taylor Swift, Band-Aids don't fix bullet holes. All right?
Yo,
And
this
I mean,
is
Mr.
nuts.
Bisky is
What
just a
did you
Band-Aid,
just
right?
I would never know that
Band-Aids
Hold on.
don't fix bullet holes.
He is a
That's from
$14
Taylor
million Band-Aid.
Yeah, but he's
Look.
there for 2 years. I mean, he's
The Steelers paid him.
Can we talk about his
fact-
saying?
yeah,
like,
why are we
Melissa,
glossing over-
We're right here,
why
right?
are we
Like, what
glossing over
Can we
that-
just like ignore?
Are you guys questioning the genius of Tay-Tay?
T Swift.
T.
I
Swift.
wouldn't even know that was like a Taylor Swift thing unless you said it.
well, write that one
catch
down.
up.
Yeah.
Who's the Zoomer now, Melissa?
By catch up like Heinz 57.
How is anybody excited about getting Mitch Trubisky?
Okay,
Nobody.
first of all, there's a lot of things to be excited for here. He made the Pro Bowl his second year. He was on a very bad Bears team, and then a very bad Bears team, Conrad.
They were badly coached.
Very bad team.
Good team.
And this guy was a second overall pick. We currently have 2 first-rounders
We do.
in the quarterback stable
Yeah.
between
I'm not
him
thrilled
and
about it.
Haskins.
Listen, there's no hope.
The Steelers have, honestly, since Bradshaw, I don't know that they've actually had a quarterback on their roster who was drafted in the first
You know what's the
round.
worst thing that happened? For you guys, for Ben and all these people?
What?
Tom Brady came back.
What are you talking about? He's in the NFL or the NFC.
Doesn't matter. You're not gonna win. It's over.
What?
They weren't going to get out of their
We
division
have-
anyway.
We have Joe Burrows to worry about, Josh Allen to worry
Right.
about.
Yeah, we got
Patrick
bigger
Mahomes
things to worry about.
Brady is the least of our concerns right now,
The
buddy.
AFC got a lot better, and the
We don't
Steelers
have to
kinda
worry about
stayed
Deshaun
consistently
Watson
the
as
same.
a Cleveland Brown because he shut that down real quick.
That's hilarious.
There is nothing that makes me happier than how inept the Cleveland Brown franchise is. It's incredible. I tweeted this yesterday that as a Pirates fan who's been suffering pretty much my entire life, it makes me so happy to see a franchise that's worsely or more worse off than the Pittsburgh Pirates. Yeah. And the Cleveland Browns just managed to find a way to do it. Not only did they not sign Deshaun Watson, but now they've ran Baker Mayfield out of town.
He's got to be so, yeah.
The Detroit Lions are competing for that slot too.
They had Barry Sanders at one point at least.
He retired
Oh,
early.
whatever. They also had Kelvin Johnson who retired early.
Also was out. He's like, I don't want to do this anymore.
They had Matt Stafford, who also left and won a Super Bowl somewhere else.
Yep.
But hey, the whole point is they actually had talent come through. Cleveland is where talent goes to die. Odell Beckham almost lost his career there. No one has ever graduated out of Cleveland and done better elsewhere. No one.
It's true.
Conrad, you also retired early from school.
Yo, what type of transition is this? Like, yo, you're just throwing low blows. I got
No,
a
that's
left
just
field.
what it is. No, I mean, it's just the AFC has consistently gotten better, and and Steelers have kind of stayed the same.
Listen,
like,
we will
they're like
have.
a B tier, you know.
Look, they're not B
Compare me to
tier.
the Steelers?
They're not
It
B
is
tier.
super
Is that what
B
just
tier.
happened?
Okay.
Listen. This is how I
That
look at the
is
Steelers. The Steelers are a legacy franchise.
Yeah, you're
Yes,
goddamn
it's
right.
like the Cowboys, right? They're always going to be relevant, but like you guys are not like, you know,
Look,
it's
first
a B
of all,
tier.
first
team.
of all,
It's B tier.
Yeah.
First of all, Jerry Jones took some bullshit marketing to make him self-proclaimed America's
team,
team. Pittsburgh is America's
it's
team.
not.
No, Pittsburgh just has
Oh,
heart.
man. It really is.
Pittsburgh-
Dallas
There
does
are
not
Steeler
represent
fans,
the
There are literally
everyman.
Steeler fans everywhere.
There's a
all over
Steeler
the
bar
country.
in every single state.
There's
All
no, there's
over the
no
country.
bias
No
at all.
team-
like any
No
other
bias
team.
at all.
It's only because if you were born in Pittsburgh, you just have this type of
Yeah,
heart.
Conrad,
Like, you're
Conrad.
literally
Because it's the
born.
We
only
represent
thing.
the
It's
everyman,
only
Conrad.
You
thing
showed me a
there.
Right.
picture of a bunch of kids in a fucking Steelers
Yeah, when you're
uniforms
born,
as you're
when you're born, you get wrapped in a goddamn terrible towel.
That's
I've
right.
had that since birth.
Conrad, I'm
Since
gonna
birth!
I'm gonna have to give him a +1. My dad owned a Steelers bar in
See?
Florida.
Uh-huh.
How rich
And
were
went to
you?
private school?
Like,
My God.
you owned a Steelers bar, went to private
You know what happens
school?
when you own a Steelers bar? Your kids go to private school.
That's right.
No, the bar closed down because of some.
Oh, there wasn't enough fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
No,
there was
they
some
were
other
doing some shady shit in the back room. Is what was happening.
That's
What
not
were you
the-
doing in the back room?
That's where he played his first poker game.
That was your poker game?
My dad was from. He's from Baltimore, from Maryland, actually.
Oh, wow.
Straight
There it
Whoa.
is. That
No wonder it
solidifies
shut
it.
down.
That solidifies it.
No, it shut down for
You
many
can't
other
be
reasons that I'm not going to
from
talk about.
Baltimore.
No team sells more merchandise than the Steelers. No team has a longer wait list for season tickets. No team has
Actually,
their own
the Packers would be
bar.
America's team because they're a public team.
That's true.
And no team is as mediocre
That's
as
a
That is
stretch.
true.
I
You're
mean,
getting
it's
too
also
literal
like
here.
I'm just
you
saying
have
it's not America's
nothing
team.
else
They do refer to the
going.
Packers as the Steelers of the NFC.
Stop saying the
What?
Steelers.
That's what they say. I didn't say it.
You
They
know the
say
best
it.
part about being friends with you?
What?
None of your sports teams are going to be relevant for the next decade.
Bet me.
Don't worry. We got
The Penguins are going to win a cup this year.
What, the what?
The Penguins.
The what?
The Pens.
Have you not seen my Rangers? Are you absurd?
Are you drunk? They're behind the Pens.
Bro, they have
doesn't matter.
alcohol right in front of them.
Could be.
So yes,
Oh
yes,
my
he is
God,
drunk.
are you- no.
Okay,
All right,
we
well,
can
I'm
bet
happy for
that.
you. I'm happy for you.
We can bet that the Steelers will have a top 5 defense this year, putting them in contention for sure.
In what?
In contention.
I can't wait to get.
Listen,
these
I
bets
talk shit on Trubisky, but like, this is what the Steelers do. They take people who you think might not be that great, that do have talent, and
Jerome
they
Bettis.
turn them into superstars.
That's-
They do it with literally every linebacker that comes through.
Every single one.
right? And
Literally
it's
every
just-
one.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
So
I'm not
like,
gonna argue that.
I mean,
Linebackers.
They-
I'm not gonna
Right.
argue.
So you
that.
They get, look,
so
they
you
get
have
white
hope.
guys.
I do. I definitely have.
have
I
hope.
always
Yeah,
have
yeah,
hope. With
hopium.
I always have hope with the Steelers.
They get white guys as linebackers just to prove a point. Just to prove that they can make anybody the best linebacker. in
Steelers
the
are
league.
also pretty
Hold on,
good.
time
James
out.
Harrison got cut
You
7
have
times.
T.J. Watt as one of your linebackers. If you're saying
Yeah, he's the best. James Harrison is the all-time sack leader in Pittsburgh Steelers history. Think about that linebacking core. That is the man who leads the team history in sacks. He was cut 7 times. 7 times this guy didn't even make training camp.
Didn't he also say he wanted to
what they
hurt
did.
people?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
he
gonna
out
say
for blood.
there's something.
They call him
wrong behind
Debo.
this.
His nickname was Debo.
I mean, Steelers are pretty good at getting
He's a
receivers
scary
as
man.
well.
He was a scary, scary man.
Yeah.
Transitioning out of our diehard pride for our city.
No, what do you mean diehard pride for our city? Your city.
Yeah, I was
Our
looking
city.
right at
We
Lamanna.
don't
Our
want
city.
any
Look,
part
Okay,
of that.
we are from Jersey.
We're having
I'm not
Philly
from
and
Jersey.
Philly.
No,
New
no,
York.
no, no.
All right, well, we're from the Northeast.
I
Pittsburgh
claim
is not it.
Philadelphia.
You want to know what the best part? You want to know what the best part about where Melissa, Conrad, Andre, and Christian are from? That like tri-state
We're
area.
not from the same place.
We're not.
That's what the best part is.
The tri-state.
That's what the best part is. They're all from like 30 miles apart from one another, and they all loathe each other's state,
Yeah.
each other's city. Like every one of them. Somehow Philadelphia thinks like New York City's a piece of shit.
Yes.
And somehow like everybody thinks Jersey's the armpit of America.
That's true.
Except for people that live in Jersey.
Well,
no, not maybe.
I
There's
think even-
different parts of New Jersey. That's the whole point.
Jersey,
Jersey's a very
seriously
small-
though,
I'm not
Jersey
gonna lie
is
to you. I
small,
lived in
but
Jersey
they're
for like 10 years, and none of the Jersey's dust.
Jersey's small, but there is such a
That's
wide
crazy.
variety
Jersey's
of
like literally
like
lit as fuck.
sections, and I don't know how they have so many cultures in this small,
That's the whole point.
shitty
But
little
we can-
state.
we
They
can
have the
We're the
agree.
beach,
most cultured state.
They have the
Not like
South
the
Jersey where
Pittsburgh.
everyone's Italian and scary, and then they have
Hey.
Central Jersey. No, I mean they're scary in a good way, but like God bless, my family lives there. And Central Jersey, I don't know what's Andre knows. I don't know. North Jersey's bougie and
Paramus.
you know
Okay.
they have SUVs.
What?
That's all I know.
No, they're not. North Jersey people aren't bougie. They're generally like very harsh accents. They're more like New Yorkers. They're called
Yeah.
bennies. I don't know if you know this.
Okay, I'm thinking of like my sister lives in Summit, and that shit.
No, that's
No,
that's different.
That's like
when people think of North Jersey, they think
about
of
Hudson
like
County, Hoboken, Jersey City.
Okay, like
Correct.
right across the river.
outskirts
you
of
come down to the shore in the summer and you're an asshole to
down
everybody.
the shore.
Right.
Well, we do that in Philly.
South Jersey is like you're a cherry farmer.
Yes.
You know, you're a redneck basically.
Yeah,
And us Central Jersey people are like the normals.
normal.
You're Central Jersey.
Stop.
Yeah.
We can all agree, though, at the end of the day, we can all come to agreement in this room that Philadelphia fucking sucks.
Why would you say we
Absolutely.
can all come to agreement in this room?
Absolutely.
Well, I assumed that you were a rational person, Melissa. I figured that you would just understand that
Okay.
Philly sucks.
I would much rather live in Philly than Pittsburgh.
Yes.
well,
hell
you
yes.
just don't know anything about Pittsburgh. Then.
No,
That's
no.
very clear.
Pittsburgh
You
is
should
literally
spend some
all
time in
pickup
Pittsburgh.
trucks.
All we know
Those
is people
all
from Pittsburgh
pickup
just want
trucks.
ketchup with their fried
And they're
foods.
like overly
There's no
like
tartar sauce.
nationalistic about their shit. And
We
it's
are a
just
very
like,
prideful bunch, but that's because we were blessed with being born in the best city in America. What do you want
you're
us to
saying
not?
you
There's literally
excited about
17
that?
bridges to get out of the city. It's like, get
True
the
story.
fuck out.
True story. This is absolutely true.
Wait, wouldn't
you
that be better
cannot
than
drive
one bridge?
Wait, you cannot drive 1 mile within the city without either crossing a bridge, going under an overpass, or through a
Through a
tunnel.
tunnel, yeah.
Yes,
What does
everybody's-
that even mean?
Get
That means
out.
You want to get the
Yeah,
fuck
it
out.
It means
Look.
get out.
Leave.
It means get out.
Yeah,
It
there's
means,
nothing
it
there.
means nobody should be cursed to live in this place.
No, it's just there's a lot of hills and a lot of rivers. So
Here's
that's
the
what
thing
you get.
about
No,
Philly.
you gotta cross shit.
I
The
think
ingenuity.
Philly, the city, is pretty gross. Every time I've been there, I've like stepped in urine, and
Where?
that's
Philly?
Philly, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
disgusting.
the people are mean.
I'm waiting for, I'm waiting for the gracious part
yeah.
where like
People
there's like
are mean,
them
but
up.
they're also like, you know, if you're from Philly too, like you guys can chum it up.
Yeah.
Right, because you guys are equally as prideful about where you're from with nothing to hang your hat on.
Except for Rocky.
You're
This
assholes.
is the definition of throwing stones in a glass house.
You're assholes. You defecate in the street. You throw batteries at Santa Claus.
You used to
on.
squat in your grandmother's yard.
Look at- man, that was off air that we talked about this, okay? I was 3.
That was
I was a
pre-production.
woodsman.
That was
That's
pre-production.
Pittsburgh pride, baby. I shit in
Pittsburgh
the yard.
pride.
Look, that was. I did a lot of camping as a kid. Nobody told me that there was a difference, and I like to poop outside.
we went to Pittsburgh to film Dead Money, and that was
We did not go to Pittsburgh. We went to my tiny little
Exactly.
hometown.
That's what he's
20
like. Oh,
miles
there's a pickup
north.
truck on there everywhere. I'm like,
Everywhere.
yes,
We're
call
from a
yourself
farming
Pittsburgh.
town.
right.
I'm gonna take you to
It's
Santo
a very
Domingo.
blue collar.
I do not want to go to.
You're
Santo
gonna go to
Domingo.
Santo
do have
Domingo,
in
you're gonna
Philly
be like,
though,
wow,
cheesesteaks.
this is life.
What?
Cheesesteaks are good.
Bang.
Yep, you're right. You
Really
have
good.
Rocky and you have cheesesteaks,
Rocky,
and for that we
cheesesteaks,
thank
the
you.
art museum. We have the Liberty Bell.
I
Arts
mean,
is
like
a
that
great
stuff was just like plucked
Brotherly
there
love.
because
We're
Wet
getting into
men.
like Thomas
Isn't it really
Edison.
brotherly love in Pittsburgh? Everyone's really mean.
In Pittsburgh,
No, in Philadelphia. Sorry.
it is the city of brotherly love. I
cannot-
don't make
you
the rules.
cannot.
Is there love though? There doesn't
You're
seem
from
like there's.
Florida.
Yeah, Florida's cool.
No.
no.
Florida's
We're
alright.
mean to everyone else.
Everything
and we
bad
like
starts
each
in
other.
Florida.
Nah, Southeast Florida's fine.
No.
Florida is the West Virginia of the South.
Florida is filled with like actual zombies.
I'm gonna tell you what though, the Cuban girls in Florida.
Huh? What'd you say?
The Cuban women in Florida.
There's a lot of women in Florida.
Miami?
No.
Cuban.
There is a Cuban sect, yeah. There's
Yeah,
like
there's-
Little Havana in Florida. It's
fun.
great.
It's good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you there.
I don't need to go there. I know there.
Yeah, but he's gonna take you there.
I don't need to
Right.
be taken anywhere.
Taken.
So a huge
You know,
tradition.
in emphasis.
A huge tradition of ours growing up was this is like the best time of year. March Madness is upon us, and a huge tradition growing up for us was running these brackets where we had a big pool, and you know the winner of, or usually paid like top 3. This was my first form of gambling by a long shot, and I was positive that I had an edge, despite the fact that I absolutely didn't follow college basketball at all. This was kind of a byproduct of, so when you're from where we're from, you pick a side between Pitt and Penn State. And Lamanna and I both chose Penn State, who is amazing at football, very, very bad at basketball.
R.I.P.
Very bad at basketball.
good.
Never made it out of the NIT. So I didn't really know that much about college basketball, but I knew enough how to gamble. And my strategy was just always to go largely chalk, and then, you know, throw in like a 3 or a 2 seed winning it, hoping that it would. Yeah, everybody was on Duke, you know. You just like bet against Duke in North Carolina and hope that this wasn't the year that they were going to win it, and you're going to win the bracket.
Yeah.
Because that was just like the way it rolled. That was my strategy. Did you guys like run brackets and stuff?
Yeah, I had brackets a lot growing up when I was younger. I remember there was one year, maybe it was the first year that we started having a family competition, so to speak. But
At the
3
bar,
out of the
at the
5 of
bar.
us had all number 1 seeds making the Final Four, which actually did happen. But looking back, it was just the most ridiculous thing to do. But we all just valued ranked number 1 more than anything else.
Well,
it was
chalk-
like UNC, Duke, Kansas, and then there was,
Probably
of course, there was
Wake.
one more, but I couldn't remember the last one.
Probably Wake Forest.
Only
It wasn't Wake Forest.
No, only time Wake Forest was
It was
relevant.
UNC,
baseball.
Kansas.
And Duncan.
Oh, Duncan too.
Duke.
Sorry.
Wasn't Villanova, but anyways, we
Clemson?
just no, Clemson was never like that great.
He's like 12.
It's like
also.
UCLA.
It was UCLA. It might have been
Yeah,
UCLA. It might have been UCLA. But anyways, we just would always win brackets every year since then, and then think we were geniuses and bet against our friends and mostly just do that.
And your strat was always chalk.
My strat was look at the number and then just guess. I never really thought too hard about it.
So you went chalk.
Yeah, I guess by default, right? Everyone kind of goes chalk by default.
No.
No.
Most of the
No,
girls
no.
I knew picked mascots.
Oh yeah, I never had mascot strat. I mostly just had number strat. It's like,
I mean,
oh,
Philly Fanatic is great.
That's fucking baseball.
Oh. What's the hockey one? That one's hilarious.
Oh my God, he's the
Gritty?
biggest meme
Gritty,
in
right?
all of
Oh,
sports.
no.
Yeah.
John Oliver
Love
makes fun of
it.
him like weekly.
He's grimy. or
Gritty.
some-
Gritty, yeah.
what
A
is this?
perfect.
He's
Amazing.
just like googly-eyed monster for the
He's
Flyers.
just like a trash monster. That's the Flyers.
that's pretty
Perfect
strong.
representation of the city.
It is. It's amazing. At least we're self-aware.
They hit the nail on the head with that one, yeah.
Sure.
Oh man.
It's self-
Leanna, did you ever win a pool when we were growing up?
Well, what I did win wasn't a pool, but I don't know if you remember this. Mr. Bowser, our gym teacher /
Oh, yeah.
health teacher,
Yeah.
every year he was huge into basketball. I think he was a Duke fan, So what he did
Because
was
he was
every
a
year,
fucking diehard Duke fan.
yeah, diehard Duke fan. But what he did was in health class, everyone, like when the tournament came along, everyone would pick a team. Like you just go through the list and pick a team, and if they picked the right team that won, you got 2% bump on your grade. So it was kind of funny that they're like
Yeah.
gambling with grades. But I picked Kentucky. And this was like, I don't know, like 98 probably.
Yeah.
I think that's when. And
Yeah.
when they
Yeah.
won, and they won it, right? And I got those 2 points that bumped me from a B to an A. And so from ever since then,
And then he gets into Stanford.
no, that's how I got into Stanford. No.
Bowser.
But since then, I've always rooted for Kentucky.
And now we know
like
how
I
you
said,
became a
Penn
poker
State's my
player.
team,
Yeah.
but they're never good at basketball. So I need a basketball team. So I've always rooted for Kentucky. Since
Yo,
then.
straight up, like,
Go
why does
Wildcats.
everybody hate Duke?
Because they're good.
Everyone
I
hates
think it's the
Aren't
same
they
reason why everybody hates
rapists?
the Yankees. It's
Yeah.
it's
Hey.
The Patriots,
relax.
the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just
It's like they love
when you
to
win
hate
and
that
win
team.
and win.
But don't
Yeah.
they do rapey stuff?
No, that was Penn State.
no, that was
that's
that was
Pittsburgh.
that was
Duke-
them.
Didn't
That's
Duke have
Pittsburgh.
something?
that was the Duke lacrosse team, and I
Yeah.
think they ended up getting
yeah,
acquitted.
the lacrosse.
But
I'm
Penn
pretty
State,
Pittsburgh.
they got
That's
wrecked.
true. Penn State. Yeah, they did. some
Moving on.
stuff there.
They still don't
Wait,
have
was
their
the
Yeah.
Penn State
rights.
one the
That was.
kid diddlers?
Yeah.
And then Ben Roethlisberger. Don't forget about
You
him.
guys have bad
Pennsylvania is
jokes.
awesome, dude. Anyway,
Not a
no, but
joke.
honestly, I was
Kid
reading
diddling's not a
something
joke.
talking about college basketball. All right, referring back to college basketball. I think it was like $1.2 billion. That's how much the ad revenue is just for March Madness.
Let me
The
ask-
ad revenue?
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys. a
The
question.
ad revenue, not the money bet.
No. Ad rev.
I'm glad you
The
said that.
NCAA is spending
It's-
1.2 billion
no,
to
they're
advertise?
scooping that.
Oh,
like from television
Dude,
coverage
that's-
and stuff.
those are that's a
For a month?
Dodgers television contract right there.
Yeah.
Dude, 1 point. That's
How much
That's
do you
how
think-
much all of the
How much
companies
do you
are paying
think is
them.
wagered?
Yeah.
No, I couldn't even find that.
That's
So I have it right here.
Oh, go ahead.
How much do you think was wagered on last year? So it wasn't last year because of COVID. The year before
The year
that. So
before?
2019's March Madness.
What's the Super Bowl?
I mean,
much is
Amount wagered? I couldn't even guess, but
I mean, that's definitely out there.
what was
I would think March Madness is greater than the Super Bowl.
Somebody-
because
throw
there's
me a
no
number. Somebody throw me a number.
5 billion.
It was 8 billion.
Oh my God.
8 billion?
Yes, it was 8.5 billion.
This is what I'm talking about, man.
wagered
Yeah,
on March Madness in 2019. This year, they predict that it's going to be 4.6 wagered on March Madness.
And the sports books are pretty much just scooping 10% of that.
Man, and they always had this problem
an
with
ideal
paying
world.
athletes
crazy.
too.
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
You make so much
1.2
money,
billion
bro.
scooped by NCAA.
You make so much money.
I'm sure they're like, spreading it out amongst the schools or whatever, and then they're,
By
all that
schools,
stuff.
you
I don't
mean
know
amongst
that they
the coaches
are.
that get
Well,
paid
I
$20
mean,
million.
they
yeah,
have to
they
get
get
something.
Well, yeah, they get
schools have to get something.
Of
People at
course,
the
of
top
course.
are
Like it's where the
making
scholarship
so
money
much,
comes
though.
from.
Yeah.
That-
Yeah,
But-
Duke, Kentucky.
That's not.
They
I mean,
get all the money, and then the
No,
local
but still.
schools-
Yeah, my point is it's not fairly spread out.
it's insane. 1.1.
They're only
billion
growing it
dollars?
too. Like I don't know if you guys remember when the playing games first began. It was probably 15 years ago, I want to say 10 to 15 years ago, something like that. But initially, it was just like the last 4 teams in did a playoff or playing game. So it was the 4 16 seeds, or basically like you were playing for a 16 seed.
Got it.
They've changed it now because nobody cared about those games.
Yeah.
So now it's still the Final Four, the final 8 teams that are chosen by the committee or whatever, but it's not 16 seeds. Like there are 2 11s playing to get in. There are 2 16s playing to get in. There are 2 10s or 12s or something like
I
that
see.
playing to
It's
get
more
in.
interesting though.
So like basically they're
Yeah.
they're saying like you were a bubble team, but if you get in, you're good enough to be a 12 seed. That's fucking brutal, man.
It is.
That is so brutal. It's like, whoa. How can I be a bubble team and still be like 4 rank points ahead
Yeah.
of like this 16? But it's because of like
Interest.
well, no, it's not just that. Like
conferences.
mid majors win
Right,
their
right.
conference and they're auto 15 or 16.
Yeah, that makes
right?
sense.
So wait, we're saying that 12s are playing against each other while 16s are playing against each other to get in, or like say 15.
They're playing to get the 12 seed or the 16 seed.
Yeah, you don't win your playing game, you're out. But if you win it, you're a 12.
You're a
seed.
12,
It's
right.
Like,
I still want to go back to this like athlete thing. So, do we think that the NCAA, they were like, oh, you can get paid outside by your likeness, right? That was the medium ground that they said. Like the NCAA is not going to pay them,
Right.
But they can get paid outside source using their
endorsements,
likeness.
sponsorships.
But I still feel like that's messed up because now it's still up to the
I don't know,
athlete.
man. I mean, think about like Reggie Bush getting his Heisman taken away from him and all these other guys in the past. A lot of it was because they were leveraging
sure.
their likeness.
Sure, but you that's not Reggie Bush is a unicorn.
Oh,
You're
I know.
talking about just like these
But
other
it's
guys.
only ever going to apply to the unicorns. It only really
unless
appli-
they just pay these kids.
Well, no, but that's the thing. That's what people were missing. It's like, yes, 100% NCAA athletes should be paid, but it's not going to be fair. It's going to be just like if you're in the pros, right? The distribution is going to go heavily towards the people that could be making money elsewhere, right? So it's like you want to incentivize the LeBron to go to college, and the way to do that is to offer him his rookie contract,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
But
Yeah,
like the 8th guy off the bench is going to get lunch money.
Right. How would that
Well,
work
that's
when it
still
comes
fine.
to like a
I
talent
mean, that's how it works in the
perspective,
pros.
right?
Time out. Imagine if you got lunch money when you were playing college baseball in like whatever.
Well, I mean, it's a bad example. I did, but like the
Wait, who gave it to you?
no, I mean like
You had a person. Now you had a connect.
Sugar mama.
He had that likeness.
He had
Sugar
some likeness.
mama.
You had a.
no, they
Hey, what's that person called?
it was called the Regs at the Pinochle Club.
Yeah, no, like they did things where you would end up getting a kickback, but it was legally. So
You
like,
got a kickback.
so like
You got a Hummer?
Well, no, like I had a small scholarship, right? And I had like part of my financial aid was like work study or whatever, but that all just became cash in pocket if your tuition was like covered otherwise. So it just like comes back to you. So I would get like $2,500 a semester
Nice.
or whatever.
Nice.
You said a semester is
Oh, yeah.
like 3 months, right?
Yeah, it's not a lot of money.
Right. Yeah, I know. That's what
It's
I'm
literally
saying.
food money.
It's not a lot of money.
No,
You
but
get,
like that's the
nothing.
whole, that's the whole point. It's like when we're having this conversation of like should NCAA athletes be paid? It's like yes, the obvious answer is yes, but the conversation is so much more nuanced than that. Number one, what they should be trying to incentivize to do, but they won't because it will dilute the product, is to have the NCAA be a place for the athletes that won't be pursuing this as a profession. But it's always been the opposite.
Yeah.
The NCAA has been a breeding ground for professionals, right?
Right.
The fact of the matter is 99% of the people who play NCAA sports are not going to
Not
play
gonna
pro.
go.
They're
Right.
never going to make money doing this,
Yeah.
right? And you're right.
But the schools are making piles.
They're making piles, right? And the trade-off is supposed to be, well, you got a free education.
Come on, man.
The irony is, like, a lot of them might not even, like, in sports like baseball, most teams, even at the D1 level, only have like 12 full scholarships to go around.
And they all get the same degree. How many communications degree are there?
Sure, but that's on them. Like, they could get whatever degree they want. But the whole point is, like, if you're on a baseball team that has a roster of like 28 and there's only 12 full scholarships,
right,
it means like your two or three studs are going to absorb 3 of those full scholarships. And now you have to take 9 scholarships and partition them out amongst the remaining 18 or 20 scholarship athletes that you have on the team. So it's not like it's never as simple as people make it sound.
Yeah, it would probably make sense to have like each school, whatever that may be when it comes to money allocated to sports, to have some sort of base for if you do make the team and such, and then probably more when it comes to incentives / performance bonuses.
Well, everything's just so asymmetrical, right? 3 sports make all the money.
Right.
Right? Or 2 sports, really. It's
like,
just football and basketball.
Yeah.
So men's football and men's basketball make all the money. And there's like 25 or 30, including women's sports, different athletic teams. And the college has to allocate money to all of them. Right. Because of like Title IX and a lot of other things. So it's like if you have 2 revenue generating sports and you have thousands of athletes occupying both of those sports who will never make a cent off of their skill, how is it then fair for them to also say like, okay, these other tens of thousands of athletes that will never make a cent off their sport should be compensated as well?
Yeah.
Right? It just gets a little weird, but the big thing is that 1.x billion that's being made is more than enough to cover every single athlete in some sort of capacity.
These schools have entire research labs. Like, they could figure this out.
Sure.
Like, it's like they're trying to solve cancer in UNC
have
labs.
You seen
like,
some
bro,
of
that's why
can figure this out. I'm sure.
You
got enough mathematicians in Harvard. They'll figure this out.
Have you seen some of like the trainings, like grounds / athletic facilities at these schools? They're insane.
It's big business, man. When you're talking about NCAA football and NCAA basketball, you are talking about the minor leagues for their sport.
Agree. It's
right?
exploitative.
It's not like baseball, man. If you're a top level athlete and you know that you have a professional career ahead of you, you skip college.
Yeah, for sure.
You just skip it. And I think the NBA just actually recently passed a rule where you're allowed to skip college again. So that it's not the one and dones any longer. I think you can just go straight from high school to the NBA.
No,
I'm pretty positive.
Did he say? Not sure if it's there yet, but it's coming.
I think
but they're doing that because of LeBron's kid.
Well, no.
For sure.
Imagine they just changed the rules strictly.
That's literally why
for
he
little
wants to
LeBron.
do it.
Maybe
They've been talking about it for a couple of years now.
Yeah, but LeBron's kid is expediting this process.
Well, I also think they want their piece of the pie. Like, why should they be feeding the NCAA? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean,
man, they make so much money. It's so crazy.
A month, dude. 1.1 billion.
Yeah.
A month. You don't give these kids nothing.
It's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, it's kind of.
It's kind of like bowl season 2 with the NCAA football. Like,
bro, how do we get in that business?
You just get to save a lot of kids' lives.
That's nice, bro.
Paying
Can we just hire a bunch of
that ship is
interns
sailed,
and then tell them like, hey, make us a bunch of money?
Like,
you get zero.
Should we tell them to start playing sports?
We just start finding people to play.
We'll give you some college credit.
Should we start our own team?
All right, guys. Solve for Why College coming soon. Only looking for D1 athletes only. You will be paid
in lunch money
somehow.
Yes.
This kind of transitions nicely into the next topic that I want to have, and it's again just a bunch of rich old white guys debating on how they can make more money. The MLB lockout has just ended. They were at war with each other for I think 99 days. Maybe it was the 100th day that they came to an agreement. From what I read, the sticking points were quite comical. The owners wanted to make more money. That was just it. They wanted more playoff games, more teams in the playoffs, yielding more playoff games, which then increases TV contracts and whatnot, giving them more money. And they wanted to give back to the players. None of it. So their initial offer was to reduce the season to 152 games and to
I like that part.
And to bring the DH to both leagues, which is something I guess players have wanted for a while.
That's good.
In exchange for 12 teams making the playoffs.
14. They wanted 14.
Oh, they initially they
wanted 14.
12.
They settled for 12.
Get some playing games going.
Yeah. So they wanted 14 teams in the playoffs to generate more revenue. have more playoff baseball, et cetera, and give back basically no money to the player pool. What they landed on, or what they negotiated down to, was 12 teams into the playoffs. I don't know if they got anywhere with the DH thing.
Yes, DH is now going to be in both leagues.
It's in both leagues?
Yeah.
Okay. They increased the minimum salary, I believe, and they also put more money into the pre-arb bonuses that players could acquire.
Yeah, I think the minimum now is 700,000.
750, I think.
Thought it was
maybe
I think it's
700.
700, but then in a couple years or how many years
Yeah,
it goes
it's
up
a tier.
again.
Right.
Yeah.
The base salary for a professional MLB player is $700K.
Yeah. And then also, if you're still in your first contract, so pre-arbitration, there's like a pool of, I believe it was like 50 million or something like that, basically the players will have access to or to negotiate out of.
They should have fixed how slow the damn game is. Nobody wants to watch baseball
Man.
anymore.
They did.
Yeah.
They did? What'd they do?
Well,
They made it faster.
Well,
so there's going to be, I think there's,
it's unbearable to watch.
I'm pretty sure they're going to have like a, I don't want to say a pitch count, a clock.
They've had that for a
clock.
while. They just haven't
it's been a
enforced
couple
it.
years.
They got to
heavily.
do something. I mean,
It's
I know
actually,
purists
the
like
only
Berkey,
thing
like
I
whatever, you're gonna
enjoy.
always love baseball, but like the casual fan,
Yeah.
just it's just
Well, they added
can't
the
get
DH,
into
which
it.
is going to add more offense.
DH is good.
Right?
I
Okay,
think.
Like sweating
they're
them
getting
out.
rid of the, it's not this year, but they're getting rid of the shift. So then that's going to create obviously more offense as well. So like they've done a few different things. I don't know all the details.
Yeah, I mean it helps. Like,
Also, people complain about the slowness of baseball, but it's just because it's day in and day out. Like the average baseball game is very comparable in length to the average NFL game.
Right.
There's two main differences between the two sports outside of like obviously the physicality aspect. Number one, it's that football does a great job of pacing itself and putting in a lot of commercials to fill the dead time. And number two, football is once a week and heavily promoted as like an action-packed sport. So they do a great job of highlighting the players, the narratives, the storylines, all this other stuff. Baseball's local. It's all localized, right? So you don't get national games very often. Once a week on Fox, I think, or like the national games, and ESPN may still be running like Sunday Night Baseball. But like generally speaking, you don't really get that, and the majority of people are forced into a local market, and they can watch every single day if they want to. But it's up to them to kind of like pay attention what's going on, who matters, and things like that. And also like they can't cut to a commercial in between pitches. They can't cut to a commercial in between hitters. You know what I mean? Where it's like in football, if there's a timeout, 30-second commercial, right?
Yeah,
they just
right.
cut away and you don't realize how often you're being distracted. Go to a live football game. It's so fucking slow.
It is
slow.
unbearable.
Watching football in person is absolutely insufferable.
Yeah, I would definitely rather stay at home.
I think they said, I don't know the exact
Staying home over
number.
Everything.
I don't know the exact number,
I
but
definitely
I think,
don't want to go to a live football game.
so I think it's like the actual live action of football throughout the 3 hours is like 3 minutes or something like that. It's or maybe it's a little maybe like 5 minutes of actual gameplay throughout the entire.
Because the clock running
Because
down
because
and- yeah.
each play only lasts 5 to 7 seconds.
Every play lasts like 5 to 7 seconds
right,
max.
right,
I just
exactly.
want to all say we probably all can agree that live hockey is the best.
100%.
Yeah.
That's
Live
not
hockey
even
is
close,
great.
right?
Like,
Live baseball is really
Fighting.
good too. But
I
I mean, it does require a more trained eye. Like
Yeah,
there's
live
more
hockey,
nuance to
it's
it.
different.
It's
Like it's the same thing. Like us poker players, we're gonna watch a high stakes poker game, and we're with the trained eye. We're like, oh, that's cool. He bet this, blah blah blah. You with a trained baseball eye, you're like, oh, that's a sick changeup. But like the casual person's like,
Yeah.
what? Like when? Like where is the
But-
action?
Yeah,
Like,
but-
it's
yeah.
0-0. Inning
like-
6,
Right,
and you're
but-
like, he's pitching a great game. He has 5 Ks.
But
Can't
there's
you
no
do the same thing
solution
about
to that.
soccer?
There's no solution to that. The same way there's no solution to televised poker.
There
Like,
has to be. We need to hire the same marketing team.
The-
Poker and MLB.
baseball was popular for as
Pitch us.
long as it was. Baseball was popular for as long as it was because people were brought up on the game. So
baseball hit its peak during Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, because there was huge promotion. There was this home run brought. Home runs get the ladies. Like that's
no,
how,
it was but it was the highlights. It wasn't
So
that
bring the
people were
steroids back.
People weren't watching.
We'll talk about
People weren't watching more games in full. They were getting a lot more of the highlights fed to them. You're right.
Definitely
Like
interested though.
yeah, for sure. But like it's not like the game is lacking home runs now. It's lacking storylines. It's lacking media coverage. Like the exact same thing has happened to baseball that is happening to poker. The media has vacated it. Same thing with hockey. Like ESPN doesn't cover baseball or baseball and hockey really ever.
Yeah,
They're niche sports to them.
Yeah.
Right?
Hockey's really hard to like cover though.
No, it's
Like,
not.
I mean,
No,
it's
it's
hard
not.
to watch. It's hard to watch on television. Like, what did you do with the puck? Like, they started like highlighting the puck.
How
and that
hard
didn't
is it
work
to
out.
get highlight reels?
Oh, I mean, highlight reels, sure, but I'm just talking about like hockey games. It's hard to watch on television.
It's
not the best.
sure. It's something that takes a little bit of a trained eye, fine. But the whole point is that baseball in one point in time was the most popular sport. And the reason for that is because it was built into America's like bloodline and kids were brought up on the game. They had that trained eye. They understood the nuance. So like they weren't bored showing up on opening day watching somebody throw a one-hitter. Right? Like that was fascinating to them because that's a craft. There's art there. It's great to watch a pitcher's duel in that regard. Like that's how I grew up in the 90s. I hated the Braves, but like knowing that I got to see Glavine, Smoltz, Maddox out there just carving people up all the time, like that was fascinating. Yeah. And then we also had like, you know, a great era of hitters, getting to watch Bonds and Griffey, and then later into the A-Rod generation and Poppy and all these guys. It's like, yeah, you're right. The home run sells it. But think about how many power pitchers you can name off the top of your head from the 90s to early 2000s.
Oh, of course.
Randy Johnson was a fucking superstar.
Yeah.
Pedro was a superstar. Clemens, superstar, right? Like, name some now.
My man.
Yeah.
Chapman.
My man.
Yeah, but it's like
Chapman's past his prime.
Chapman broke the radar gun. That's the only reason he's even notable.
Yeah, like they can't promote
Max Scherzer.
a Clemens versus another great pitcher duel. Like nobody's gonna.
Well, they can.
Well,
right?
they can't now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. There's a problem. There's a big problem.
Well, I think part of it had to do with the steroid era because there was such an emphasis on offense, and then such a honestly baseball. I don't really fully understand how this all came to be, but baseball seems to have handled that era about as poorly as you possibly could.
Yeah, of course.
In the sense that it's their own private business, right? Like the WWE doesn't have a black eye from steroid usage. Everybody knows it's going on.
Yeah.
And they even started testing now. But like they didn't go through some Senate hearing where the United States
the
government
WWE test for steroids?
Yeah, that's what Pat McAfee said.
Really?
Yeah, I don't understand the purpose or why. Maybe it's for insurance reasons, but like whatever.
I mean, the whole thing is fake. So what is it like?
Right. It's all for aesthetics anyway. But the point I'm getting at is like, why on earth was the United States government involved in doping allegations in a major league sport?
Yeah.
Because it's illegal.
Yeah.
No.
What do you mean?
No.
Taking steroids is not legal.
No, selling steroids
yeah, but
is
they're
not
selling
legal.
steroids to
Right, but he's talking about like Congress. He's not talking about like the DOJ. Like, it's like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
DOJ
Right.
got involved.
And
It's
also,
different.
you're just
Like,
talking about
we're
a bunch of people who are
congressional
using.
hearings.
Like that's not something
Right.
they care about, right? They care about the source. So yeah, when the whole Belko thing happened, sure, they're going to be involved in taking that guy down. And I guess baseball kind of gets dragged through the mud a little bit throughout that. But overall, like, why was baseball publicly like championing the government to like say, yeah, take us down, man? Like, how much worse could Selig
they
have handled
wanted
this?
the purity of the game, right? People think of baseball
A bunch
as,
of old rich white guys.
Exactly, right?
Boomers.
I'm not
Get it
arguing
right.
that, but I'm saying that's the reason why.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, this is going to go into our final topic with this, but it's like recently this year's Hall of Fame vote came out, and Bonds and Clemens failed to get in for the 7th time, which now gets them off the ballot permanently.
Yeah.
So they're axed. We're talking about a top 5 pitcher all time, and very likely the greatest baseball player of all time in Barry Bonds.
Definitely the greatest home run hitter.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got all the records.
Not making the Hall.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, there's this blemish of performance-enhancing drugs, but same class, David Ortiz, publicly on record as having tested positive in the Hall.
Right.
What's the big difference between these three? Poppy's loved.
Yeah, it's different.
He played up to the media.
Right.
He's very well liked.
And the
right?
media is who put people in the hall.
Correct.
That's it.
Bonds and Clemens, hated by the media. They were pricks.
Yep.
They were just the absolute worst whenever it came to their public persona. And again, it's like, you know, we talked about this with our own industry, but like all of this is just like marketing problems, right? They had to be losing their mind when Bonds got involved in the home run chase. Like, of all the people, this guy is the least marketable that I could. And the thing is, he wasn't, right? Again, it's like steer into the heel, right? Like, everybody loves a bad guy,
Right?
You know, it's
He
like,
could be
okay.
the villain.
I think
sure.
the Hall of Fame should just have a section for that era. Just like, you know, it's just like, I think that's the happy medium. It's just like, okay, this is the era of the PEDs. These guys were incredible. Like, you just put in A-Rod, Poppy, like,
Isn't
Bonds,
this era
Clemens.
still going on now? Like,
it's not this. I mean, end of the day, like, almost all these guys, like, that are playing professional sports are on some sort of thing.
Right.
Like, nobody's like pure, clean, super natty. Like, they're all on something.
Oh,
Right?
there's still.
They just should be, man.
Yeah,
It's
there's still
science.
people getting suspended every.
Yeah,
season.
and also, but like this is just like science. What is the big aversion to seeing some sort of maturation or growth in this arena, right? It's like if these guys have found a way to become better athletes than they already are in a method that isn't harmful to them.
Yeah, but I think that's a big transition to go from like just the stigma around everything in
Right.
this
Fairness,
country
it's
and,
the fairness,
and
yeah.
drugs are bad and all this stuff. So like go from that and steroids are bad and you're doing this and you're cheating to, oh no, they're just taking this because it's healthy for them and it makes them
does
better.
it have something to
Right?
do
That's a
with,
big bridge to cross.
does it have something to do with like the purity of manpower that's relatively seen as natural versus the artificial boost of like what can be created by a
By a
human
lab.
I
as a
think
vessel?
that's the narrative, but I also think that that's like, you know,
I feel like
fundamentally
it's just
bullshit.
so washed, right? Like at this point, like it's cool to see people break records.
Yeah, but also like, what's the difference if you're talking about somebody supplementing a means to stay healthy for an extra 5 years so that their career is longer,
Right.
versus somebody who like is in the weight room more compared to an athlete in the 80s who never touched anything.
Right.
Right? It's like there will always be an evolution here. Bigger, faster, stronger will just forever be a thing. That's how the human being will evolve, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it doesn't make any sense. I understand like being anti-steroid. That seems very reasonable to me. At this point in time though, like for us to still be anti-HGH is like maddening.
Yeah.
There's just so much science out there saying that like this is a methodology to keeping yourself younger, healthier, more well recovered, and especially for athletes able to get out there and do it day in and day out for 162 games.
I think there's still a fee though for Barry Bonds being like it being in that era and also being like extremely unlikable to the media. Like you can't just say, oh, it's unfair. Like, no, he kind of brought this upon himself. It's like,
Why? Because he has to
Because-
conform to make the Hall?
no, like you
He
can't
did
just
all
say
he
like,
needs to
oh,
do.
this is unfair because like Poppy was liked, and it's like, no, he was liked. Like he wasn't an
Being
asshole.
liked, being
he
liked
wasn't
should
an
have
asshole.
nothing. Being that has nothing to do with
You
baseball
have
talent.
to. All right, when the media is the one that is putting you in the hall, don't complain when you were an asshole to the media and also very
What
likely
you're saying is
cheating.
What you're saying is being a Hall of Famer is being good at baseball and also having a good personality.
Right. It's like marketing of the year.
If you have blemishes on your resume, right, that you cheated,
Right.
and you're also an asshole, don't complain when they don't be like, nah, you know what, he's cool.
But
Like,
if you have
nah.
blemishes on your record and you're nice, suddenly it cancels out?
I'm saying that it's up to their discretion.
Stop,
and just
man.
with everything, it's who you know.
Bonds is
don't
literally-
act like it's not who you know.
Bro, Bonds is literally 10x the baseball player that
Doesn't matter.
The
Ortiz
problem
is.
is where the power is for the vote.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
that's
absurd
it.
part.
Right, but like
that
trying
just needs
to
be changed.
imply that you should
Be
like
nice
the system's
to-
okay
yeah.
because you can
I'm not saying
manipulate
the
it in your
system's
favor.
okay,
It's
but,
crazy.
like, this is the
people who have
system.
the votes need to change.
Yeah, like, what do you want from them?
I
You
want the
them to-
system to change. Obviously, like we're clearly pointing out that the system is fucked. right? Like,
I mean,
taking the stance of like, well, this is what it is, and he just should have been a little bit more chummy to the
so what is
poor...
it? Just like, oh, you hit 3,000 hits, like you're automatically in the Hall of Fame?
Yes!
Yeah.
Fuck
I mean,
yeah!
I think that was always
That's
the
always
standard.
been a standard.
Yeah.
500 home runs, 3,000 hits.
You're
This gets
in.
you in the Hall.
Yeah.
When it comes to sports, it feels like there should just be an objectivity of the stat lines.
Of course.
And then everything
Yeah, but
else
stat
outside
lines
of
are
that.
stat lines are inflated based on eras.
Bro,
you have to be.
He hit 298. He won the MVP.
Nobody's saying.
He's not
Nobody's
supposed to be in
saying.
there.
Nobody's saying his stats don't deserve. Of course, Barry Bonds is
Then how
one
is
of the
there
greatest.
ever a further discussion?
Because he cheated.
So did Poppy, and his stats are dwarfed by comparison.
Yeah,
Bonds
but-
was a
but
three-time
he was
MVP.
nice.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
No, like I understand.
Bonds was a three-time MVP before he even.
So you would be okay if Poppy was out too? Then it's cool.
No.
So then what's the problem?
They need to ask
The problem is
The
Bonds
problem is that
out.
Poppy's not out and Bonds is in.
All right, but you're
Bonds
still-
is out.
it-
But you're being biased because you're a huge Bonds fan.
I'm being biased to the numbers too, though. It's like I hate A-Rod. I hate him with a passion. Leaving A-Rod out is a
I think
sin.
the right answer, I think the more right answer is that they both should be out than both in. I mean,
Sure. The
I
best
don't
answer
think
is just literally create a section
or,
in the Hall
or
of Fame.
do something else.
Just
or
like, this era existed.
I mean, if it's, I don't know if it's provable, but if it's provable that they took these substances that cheated, that gave them an advantage, then why should that be rewarded by going into the Hall of Fame?
That's what I'm saying.
I think
Well, if that's what
mainly
you're saying, then
because
Poppy's out.
Well, Poppy also said he took something where the other two did not.
right.
Poppy also said, like, hey, I took something, guys.
So Poppy's
Yeah, I
out.
don't know what
I
it is.
don't know what I took.
Exactly.
It's obviously
He wasn't, like,
media
completely
bias
lying.
Right.
What
That's
the fuck does that
obvious.
have to do with anything?
That Barry Bonds kept saying he didn't take anything, and his head grew 2 inches every year.
So
Like,
what?
stop fucking lying, bro.
Oh, because if you tell the truth, suddenly you're a Hall of Famer?
If you tell the truth, at least like
You're
there-
insane if you
No.
think somehow he gets rewarded for
I'm not
being
saying
transparent.
I'm not. All right, but just don't complain. Like
The truth will set you free.
Because he was already liked. A-Rod was transparent.
you know why he's liked?
A-Rod
Because
was
he tells the
transparent.
truth.
He's not getting in the fucking Hall.
Nobody
He's
liked
liked
A-Rod
because
either.
he's
Exactly. That's my point.
A-Rod was not liked by the media.
That's my point.
He also wasn't very transparent.
and
Yes,
Yeah.
he was.
No, he wasn't.
He came out and said he took.
Eventually.
after.
Okay, I don't give a fuck.
How
He still
long did he
was
drag the media through the mud for
Yeah.
that?
Yo, A-Rod
Like,
was one of the
hey,
most
guys.
unliked person like ever.
Of course.
And he got caught. That's why he was like, okay, you're right. Like
Whatever. Like, the whole point is he
Derek
still
Jeter didn't like A-Rod. You know how crazy that is? Derek Jeter likes
Bro,
everybody.
I'm on board. I hate A-Rod, but he's still a fucking first ballot Hall of Famer.
I understand your argument is based on stats. These stats are still tainted, though, by the eyes of all
Taint
the
them as
purists.
much as you want. They can't be, like, inflated by thousands of percent.
So here's the thing that
These guys were Hall of Famers, like, their first 3 years out of the gate.
Nobody's
When they were
arguing-
165
Yeah, but, like,
pounds soaking wet.
Jose Canseco's in the Hall of Fame.
No, Jose Canseco's not talented enough. His stats, as is, aren't Hall of Fame material.
Mark McGuire's Hall of Fame.
Same thing. Not a Hall of Famer stat-wise.
I mean, you're comparing them to like
What?
You're saying
I don't
Mark
think McGuire's a Hall of
McGuire is
Famer.
not. In
Didn't
the
you
Hall
say
of
500 home runs? And
That
you
was
should
the
be in?
standard for a long time, yeah, but, like, he
He's got
didn't
what,
hit for...
700?
Fame? This is what I'm
how many?
saying. This is what I'm saying. These,
No, but I'm
these
saying, like-
numbers
500
get inflated and
Oh, yeah?
deflated based on eras.
Yeah, he didn't hit that far over 500. He didn't hit for average. He didn't, like, blow anything else out of the water. Bonds has over 500 steals. He has 700.
I'm not
Nobody's
trying to
comparing
compare
Bonds.
All right, I
Bonds
understand.
We're saying
Right,
the
I understand.
baseline.
Whenever you look at a guy like Eddie Murray, okay, he was a guy who hit for average. He hit over 500 home runs. He played in an era pre-steroids, whatever. Like, yes, these guys are, he stole bases. Like, these guys are five-tool players. Mark McGuire is not a five-tool player. He's a home run hitter,
I get it.
right? Same thing. You could make a stronger case for Sammy, I think,
Yeah.
to get in.
Yeah.
He has much better stats than McGuire. And even he, I think, like, most people are just, like, not a first ballot guy, but probably deserves to be in by the time it's all said and done.
Also very liked.
No.
He was like
Sammy
people
Sosa
liked
was
him.
liked. Everyone liked
People
Sammy
liked
Sosa.
him.
I mean, I think, yeah, I think the
Right,
public liked him. I don't think the media was like.
Well, the media
super
was
on
like, bro, you cork your bat. Like, relax. Like, stop. Like, come on, bro. Like, tell the truth. Like, stop the bullshit. I mean,
board. Yeah,
it is
I
what-
mean, you know, it is what it is. I think that, like, the biggest reason to have this debate is because baseball becomes more and more of a joke every single day that these guys get left on the outskirts. It's like, call it what it is. The entire era, you may call it tainted, whatever. And I'm sure Hank Aaron is sitting around stewing in his old ass rocking chair, pissed off that some younger guy possibly cheated and shattered his record. Bonds doesn't get blackballed from baseball. He's 36 home runs away from having 800.
Yeah.
Like, he does the unthinkable if he gets to play another season or two.
But how?
But it's
What do you
still
mean?
tainted, though.
Because he was on drugs.
Yeah, it's still tainted.
Like,
we don't know to what
we don't
degree
know what
it's
happens
tainted.
to like overall, like if everybody is on steroids or everybody's on whatever he was taking.
How many people in the league during his career were also on comparable?
Doesn't
Okay,
lot.
how many of them hit 786 home runs?
doesn't matter. You
Not
don't know how
everybody,
many.
though.
You don't know how many.
We don't know it's everybody. Like,
You don't know.
But the whole point,
You don't know who's
the
on,
point
you
I'm
don't
trying
know
to
who's
make,
off.
Conrad, is it just doesn't matter. No
But it
one
does.
touched him.
Doesn't this just
But he
prove a
hasn't-
point to have them be legalized?
Listen, this is the problem, bro.
And also, like in the 70s, they were also on all kinds of things. Greenies were like the most popular thing that anybody was taking, and it was across the board. Everybody knew about it. Everyone knew that baseball was just full of people taking speed. It doesn't take away from people's accomplishments then. Ty Cobb was a prick. He's in the hall. You know what I mean?
Speed is not steroids, Berkey. Like this guy's
no,
playing
it's still
100.
Who are you to
He's
judge
playing-
like what?
He's
what
playing
is
because he's
different?
playing 162 games, and now you're saying you have one of the best players playing 162 games with massive recovery, all the skills in the world. We don't know who's.
Why
on
do you
steroids,
think they
who's
were
not.
taking greenies?
yeah,
It was to get out of bed every fucking day and get
Yeah,
and
but-
strap in for 162
All right, so
games.
we're gonna compare these two drugs now.
I mean, if you want to talk performance enhancers, yeah.
Yeah, but you're talking about.
Nobody's talking about the 70s. Nobody's trying to disqualify any of their achievements. Nobody's saying Hank Aaron doesn't deserve what he did because he got out there every single day and was probably on something. Who gives a shit?
It's
Yeah,
just.
we're not saying
I
probably,
mean,
though.
people care.
We're not saying probably. We're saying definite.
Prove it.
All right. Don't we have some Soft Y stuff to sell?
We do.
Would love to change topics.
Me
if
too.
possible.
This topic sucks.
I'd
Aw.
like to be excused.
The non-athletes are out.
I don't know
We're
anything
sorry.
about baseball, bro.
That's
Exactly. That's the problem that baseball has. No one cares.
I mean, you guys care.
I mean, I care because I grew up on that era. That's it. Like, but now I can't name you any baseball players because I'm like, this is just not interesting anymore.
It's interesting but different
It-
because baseball's
It's
still
not interesting to the casual fans.
it's because the media left after the steroid era.
yeah.
They exited. So everything that was being marketed to you in the 90s and early 2000s stopped hard and fast, right? So the reason why it's not interesting now, the reason why you don't know everyday players is because nobody's covering it. And the crazy thing is they're still getting the biggest television contracts in
That's
any
nuts.
sport. It's not even close. The Dodgers TV contract is
Yeah.
multiple billions.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like there's so much money being made by the ownership in this particular industry that it's outrageous that somehow the talent is the one putting on the frying pan.
Wow, there really should be like some hats off to the media, I guess, for making things actually be enjoyable. Because it seems like without the media, nothing's important.
I think that's true in
In anything. Not, I don't just mean
Yeah.
baseball. I just mean anything.
yeah, almost every single arena. When you look at arenas where it's like the general public is kind of like, meh, they probably have really shit media. Right?
Yeah.
And when you look at the very popular stuff, like I don't know what soccer media looks like in the UK, but I imagine it's just
massive.
lit.
everywhere.
It's lit.
Right? Like these guys have to be just heroes.
Yeah, just
They are.
a lot of
That
takes,
narrative's built somewhere.
Well, that's what basketball is like in stuff here. There's just so many like sports talk shows where everyone has their opinion on something and everyone just loves watching
NBA
it
YouTube
around
is
the clock.
super popular too.
24/7, 365, ESPN's talking football.
Yeah.
Why? The NFL's in bed with ESPN,
For sure.
right? They have a television contract through ABC, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think YouTube's just gonna control everything soon, and it's just like you need to create like a YouTube like little communities. Like NBA YouTube is super popular. Like every day
why we're
there
here,
are
right?
many like channels covering everything that happens on YouTube. And of course, they use like little clips and stuff like that. But this creates like a huge culture, many eyes every single day on NBA, many eyes on like NFL. Like YouTube just like kind of controls the narrative to all these little subcultures. I think
Sounds like poker then needs something of the sort where there's like public.
yeah, like something that goes up every single day, 5 days a week, with like a cast of characters.
Well, they used to have cool shows like the Shark Tank and the Loose Cannon and fun stuff.
That's true.
It was all
Poker
it was all
stars.
driven by online
Poker
money.
stars money.
Yeah,
Sounds like we need more money.
we do need more money. That's the bottom line. is industries that lack media coverage tend to need more money.
And that's why we're starting Solve for Why College to find those D1 athletes to go get us some of that ad rev.
That's the best joke you've told in a while.
He knows. This kid knows.
He's learning.
All right,
Gotta be
moving on to a lighter topic. We were kind of chatting earlier this week, and it kind of came to light that we, all being from the Northeast, with the exception of Landon from the Southeast, we all kind of came up in the same little area, unbeknownst to us maybe. So I kind of wanted to just give a little bit of insight as to what our first early days of poker look like. What I think Melissa's story is funny, which is why this even became a topic. But, basically, like, we were all in the AC, underground, East Coast games. I think Landon's story might be a little bit different, and he kind of gets to set the stage because he's the young man, and he has the best memory since it just happened like a year and a half ago.
It's true.
So what were your early days of grinding?
You're going to start with me? They're going to end with me. Sure. Started playing poker through college, actually, where at Florida State I would play a lot of pickup ball in the gym. And I had a friend that asked if I knew how to play poker and running like a $20 tournament home game. So it was like a sit and go, 9-handed, could rebuy if you want for a certain amount of time. Very arbitrary as to what time that was. And then from there, I ended up winning that tournament for like a couple $100. Felt really good about it. Never saw that much amount of money in my life before from winning something. And then from there, decided to start playing online. And I started playing 2 cent, 4 cent on Global. Started there and had some friends from video games who played 5-10 and 10-20 on Global. And sort of just asked, kind of out of the blue, but also we were acquaintances, I guess you could say. And I was like, hey, I'm trying to learn poker. Can I ask you questions? He was like, yeah, sure. Don't go too crazy with it. And I asked him like 20 questions a day. I didn't realize how much I was asking, and I was asking for a lot. And from there, I guess he saw how much I wanted it and how much I really wanted to put time and effort into poker, and offered me a stake for 10 cent, 20 cent. So I got given $500 to play 10 cent, 20 cent online. And from there, did a lot of learning through coaching stables, probably for the first 2.5 years, maybe 3 years even, because being off of stake now.
Did you play live at all?
No, I played very little live.
So what were the first casino experiences like? Because mine was awful.
The first casino experiences for me was Seminole Casino. It was probably 15 minutes from my house. I was playing 1-2 at the start. I realized how much money there was to be made in a 1-2 environment. But then I also pedestalized 2-5 players. And I was like, wow, like 2-5. That must be the epitome of poker. That must be where all the good players play. Because I would see people have stacks of like 2,500 and like green chips. And be like, wow, that's a lot. And then from there, just put in a bunch of time, probably played about 500 to 1,000 hours of live over that 2-year sample, and most of it online.
Do you have any like memories of super awkward like things that like basically when you're new to live, a lot of weird shit can happen?
Yeah, so I have a few of those situations. One time I went on like a small little downswing, I guess you could call it, of like 10 buy-ins or something, but at 1-2 I guess that's a lot at the time, because if you're winning online, winning live 1-2 should be pretty simple. So from there I had a bunch of weird awkward conversations with my friend that was backing me at the time about how I wasn't winning at 1-2. But then one of the weirdest / most uncomfortable conversations I've ever had to have was with Jeremiah, when I ended up folding the best hand on the river where I thought the guy open mucked to me. So I ended up having a set, I bet, and the guy didn't look too thrilled about it. And I had headphones in, so I couldn't hear what the guy was saying, just like small headphones. And apparently he called, but flipped his hand over like he open mucked it. And when I saw his hand, it was ace-queen on a queen-high board. And I was like, when do people in live 2-5 fold ace-queen on a queen-high board? So I thought he folded, and I was very upset about it. I just snap-winged my cards into the muck. And it was like a 2K pot at this point. I was just steamed. I was like, how did you fold ace queen? He didn't fold ace queen. He didn't
And the
fold.
pot's just going the other way.
Exactly. And everyone looked at me knowing that I had a set of eights because I was like, wait a minute, why is the pot not going my way? And someone said to me, he called you. And I go, oh, I thought he folded.
Yeah,
and
that's the
even the guy
headphones, yeah.
that won the pot with ace queen knew that I had a better hand. I just looked like I had a set.
Did he chop the pot with you?
No, he just took it. And honestly,
Scum.
respect. No,
That's scum.
no, it's
It's scum.
It's what?
It's scummy.
he
I would have
knew-
chopped the pot with you.
Sure,
Like, good
either-
life. Good.
liar.
Good. No, I'm not. I'm not. I would absolutely chop the pot with
the
you.
guy that won the pot was not a professional by
Old
any means.
old me would have been like, dude, you should not wear headphones at the table. But like new me today, I would have chopped the pot. Like I think it's the right thing to do.
Honestly, if the situations were reversed and this guy had a set and was very, very clear that this guy had a set and I could feel that he was being genuine, I would give him the pot.
No, I wouldn't give him the
100%.
pot.
I would give him the pot.
No, I would
100
chop the pot.
I understand.
'Cause you
I'm
still
saying-
made a
Yeah, I think you still need to punish the mistake.
Yeah, you
How
have
is
to
it
punish
both
the
bad?
mistake. No, you have to punish the mistake, but chop is fair.
You're free rolling yourself by saying that.
What you
And
mean?
you're
I'm not
giving
free rolling.
away a
Well,
pot.
I mean, yeah. If people have a logic, are gonna be like,
yeah.
oh, Chin said if I call him muck, he'll give me half the pot. Like, okay, you guys got me.
The
Like,
story's over now. That would
but if
never
you do
happen.
it today, I'm gonna punch you in your mouth.
No, of course. It was just a very nuanced situation where it was very clear that I realized I made a mistake, but also the other person knew my intentions. But it makes sense. I shouldn't have mucked my hand pre, and I should have asked if he called. I just didn't see because normally the dealer will throw the all-in button at the
They
player.
didn't have those back
and then
then,
they had it.
What?
This
Bro, this
no,
was like a
this
year
like-
ago.
Dude, I forgot. I'm like,
It was like 2
oh,
years ago.
that does
Anyways,
not exist.
I didn't
This is
see.
literally like a month before COVID hit.
I didn't see the dealer give me the all-in button, and I didn't see the dealer give the other guy the big yellow call button.
Yeah.
And at Sunwell Casino, it's a big fucking button. I wouldn't have missed this button.
Well, it was just probably fast. Like he was just like call, and then he turned his hand.
I don't know what happened, but at the end of the day, I had to have a conversation with Jeremiah through Discord at the time, telling him I was absolutely fine and I wasn't emotionally stressed by this at all. And he's like, "Take a walk, man. You can't. You have to go take a walk for 20 minutes."
It is a little tilt though. Like there has to be a little bit of lingering tilt.
I've done that before. I was buried in a session. This was back when I was playing 510 at the Win. I was buried a few thousand, and I ended up getting in 700 pre with sevens, and neither of us exposed our hand. And the first board came Broadway cards, and the second board came king high with a 10, 9, 8, and a 6. And before the hands were even exposed, I just assume I lose both because I'm just I literally beat nothing. Every pair made a set. It might have been king,
every
queen,
Broadway
high.
hand made
connector
a
touch.
pair.
Yeah, I'm just I literally just never win this pot. And he tables ace king, and I'm just fuck, and I muck my hand. And they go, what did you have? And I go, what do you mean? I had a pair. They're like, how? Every pair made a set or a straight.
Right.
And I go, straight?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, sevens were straight on the bottom. And I'm
Yeah.
fuck!
When you said the board, there's a 10, a 9, and 8, and a 6. I was like, wait a minute, that's a straight. With
Yeah,
sevens.
yeah.
Makes sense, though.
So
I
I cost myself
Because you're looking for one thing and not seeing.
It was
the
3 a.m. at that point. I was buried. I was just I'll
Right.
see you
It's
guys
almost like you
another
just want to
day.
find an excuse to get out.
I couldn't wait to rack.
I folded so many chop pots. I've done so many dumb things, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it's led me here today.
So it's kind of interesting because you entered the live arena already pursuing professional poker. I don't think that's true for any of us.
No,
right?
I did. I felt that. I was I want to be dirt.
But you weren't at a point, were you?
No one was at a point.
Well, he was.
He didn't have money.
No, but he had thousands of hands of poker under his belt. Tens of thousands of hands.
I had a lot of hands prior to playing live,
Yeah.
at least from a setting of going to the casino to play live poker. I never played live poker before playing online.
Well,
Yeah,
hold on a
right.
second. I had a lot of hands on Zynga Poker.
Okay. So your story to me, it's funny because that's where I was going with this is I don't think any of us really entered the live arena with the idea of I'm a professional poker player or I'm going to be a and based on the way you've described this story to me, you were in no way, shape, or form pursuing this game seriously.
No, I mean, I thought I was really good because I used to grind Zynga sit and goes, and I would win them. It's not a big deal. But,
That's
you
the
know,
play money, right?
kind of a big
Honestly,
deal.
that might be a bigger deal than winning the main event.
It's hard.
It seems impossible.
You ever try it? It's hard.
I imagine it is.
So anyway, it was my friend's 21st birthday weekend, and every time like people after this, like from this point on, I would always just like break off and go and play poker by myself. But this time I had like a certain amount of time where everyone was in the pit gambling, and I'm playing poker for like a few hours before we go to see Laid Back Luke at Premier Nightclub at the Borgata.
Right.
So
Also, just to demonstrate like how recent this is, I haven't been to the Borgata, I don't think, since like 2018, and that nightclub was called either Mix or
okay, that
was
was in
called the Mix.
2015 that it changed.
Murmur.
It was Murmur.
yeah, that's right. Man,
There was two of them.
There's two of them.
There was
They're
two
not
of
the
them.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
was right across from the poker room. That was the Mix. And then Murmur was on the other side.
Okay, so I think it was Murmur then. That was the last time. Anyway,
So
this
anyway,
new nightclub
can I
exists now
continue?
that I haven't even been to or seen or known about.
So we're playing. I always bought in for the minimum because I was like broke, and I was like, why would you buy in for more? You could just lose more. So I bought in for $90 at 1-2.
That was the minimum?
Yeah, 90, 45 bigs.
In Florida, it's 40.
Yeah, I thought it was 40.
It was 60. In
It was
Borgata for a
90.
while.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Andre has the photo of what I was wearing prior to going to. So I was just like this.
That's sharp.
Ready to go to the nightclub, but I thought this was normal for poker. Like people just wear what they're going out in.
It is if you want dirty old men to throw money at you.
And that's what they did. So I sat at a table of like all old guys. They were very kind.
Oh, shocking.
They were super nice. And they were, I don't remember.
They
much.
probably told you like what beat
This
what.
is-
and-
yeah, I mean, no, like,
Right.
I don't know. Actually, I don't remember. I was
Hey there,
very
little
drunk.
lady.
This is when I was still drinking, and when I was drinking, I didn't lightly drink, so I don't know. I was very browned out, but I do know that I walked out with $400 from my 90, and I thought I was like, wow, I'm really good. Like I can't wait to tell everybody what just happened. Because 400 was like a wad of 20s. And I was so excited to have money. So I went, of course, bought like the whole bar shots. And we have like a little video clip of us at the club.
No, I didn't.
No, you don't have it? Okay. Well, we were at...
It was too scandalous.
What do you mean?
You looked like you were on a
I'll
mission.
get it. I'll get it.
She looked like she was on a mission. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, you can tell that from the first photo, but it was definitely a rush. And then I thought it was going to be like that every time I played. So I went the same summer again, and I had my first bad beat, and I was like, it was just like trips versus a boat. And I was so like, I couldn't believe that.
Devastating.
Like I couldn't believe that like that could happen to me, and I had ran it up again from $90 to $300, playing probably a VPIP of 6 maybe.
Sure.
And I was just like so bent out of shape about it, but
Right,
yeah.
I got it.
Oh, he has
ready?
it.
Bad bitch right here. Some bad bitches.
Yeah, that's Charlotte. So, so we had lots of fun. I think I woke up the next morning with like, we jumped from the ledge outside of the parking lot down. We didn't want to walk all the way, so we just jumped into the bushes down like a 6 foot drop. I'm wearing these like, I probably rolled my ankle. I had like bruises and scratches all over, but I had some money left, so I walked out about. I think I was break even. I think I spent it all at the bar, but it was good. It was a good time.
At what point did you transition into being confident enough to like continually go to a casino and play?
Oh, I thought I was the best. I was definitely confident. I wish I had that confidence now. I'm like at that little valley down there.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, I'm like I'm the best out of all my friends. Like,
so this is just
I
like
always
led
win.
straight to grinding.
No, I would just go occasionally, like a couple times a year, and then when I started playing online, like that's when it led to grinding, because I was like, oh, this I can do like all day.
Sure.
So I don't know. It was definitely I wish I still had, like, looking back, I should just tap into that, because it was just like they were throwing me $25 chips, and I'm like, wow, like they must just think I'm really good.
Dominate some field with that attitude.
But my first live MTT, I did get the clock called on me, and I thought it was called on the other guy. So I'm just sitting there like, what's he taking so long for? I'm like staring at him, and then my hand was declared dead, and I was like, what do you like? I was so confused.
I didn't even know it was on me.
So embarrassed, and
What do you mean dead?
there's a lot of moments like that.
Speaking of throwing $25 chips, Conrad had a little bit different of experience. You came into the game as a dealer first, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know exactly how I came into the game.
I just know that when we were coming up, the dealers were the fucking spots.
Oh,
we wanted them in all the games.
I was beyond the spot. What are you talking about? Used to love the gamble. Used to love the spot.
Used to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't take too many gambles nowadays.
Your first introduction to live poker was dealing underground games.
Actually, my first introduction to live poker was playing like games around the kitchen table with Oscar and his friends.
Okay.
And stuff like that. And
but like more so serious in a structured.
I started running games. We started running games in my house, playing 1-2 and whatnot. And I think I started dealing those, and that's where I started. But yeah, from there, I went to a 2-5 game, dealt one time, and I was like, oh, I can make what 620 minutes or 3 hours, whatever it was. This sounds great.
When did you start transitioning into going to casinos, and where did you first start to go?
When I was 20, like a couple months before my birthday. It was somebody else's birthday. I think actually it was Oscar's birthday, and we went down to AC, started playing, and that was my first time in the casino.
Which one?
Borgata.
Good choice. I've actually never played poker anywhere in AC outside of Borgata, with the exception of my first trip. Lamanna and I, we played and stayed at the Taj. But when I say we stayed at the Taj, I mean the Taj or the Garage Mahal.
Yeah, the Garage Mahal. Yeah.
We were too goddamn broke to actually afford a room, and we had case money on the table.
Yeah.
So we would just pay for parking, sleep in the garage,
Sleep in the car,
and then go grind and drive home after 48-hour session or whatever. I got fucking wrecked there.
I mean, I heard
AC is not your town, man.
No,
the
it's
Taj
not.
Mahal used to be popping. That's probably was way better than Borgata is. Like,
I don't know, man. We started going to Borgata when it first opened, and they had the room in
I mean,
the
before
basement area.
Borgata, it was the Taj that was obviously rounders and everything. That was the place to go. And then Borgata opened. It was new and really nice, and
it was
pretty
packed. When they
classy
had the
and-
old room, like downstairs where the nightclub went or whatever, below the nightclub, it was, I want to say it was like 30 tables or something like that, and it was full with 100 people on the
packed.
list.
We would go, especially during tournament times, and like you would have to put your name in the list, call like an hour before, and then wait another half hour.
Yeah.
It was wild.
I do want to interject real quick.
Please.
Because you asked Conrad to send a picture of when he first started playing
I
poker.
know.
you said professionally. You said when I first started playing.
So,
There goes me last fall.
So 3 months ago, Conrad finally declared himself a professional, and now here he is retired on a set of a podcast.
Retired for like next month.
Incredible.
Life comes at you fast, man.
Too fast
It
sometimes.
also
Conrad-
goes at you
No,
fast.
well, like you guys don't understand. Like Conrad was the most sought out dealer in the
That's
the
because he got
metro-
big hands, man.
The metro area. No,
Behi-
listen.
behind
There were
Kite,
listen.
behind Kite.
Look. These are some fun times. There was a video right? There was a rumor like, yo, Conrad rakes a lot. And then there was one video that came out, right? This like,
Are we talking about Ernesto?
no, his brother, the dude with the dreads.
Oh.
Okay, so we're playing this 5-5, the game that the mob shut down, right? And it was called the Powerhouse in Jersey City, and so Conrad would take the rake after every street, right?
Sure.
And it was a pretty big game. Like it was 5-5, but it was not 5-5. Like it was a big game. And so this guy's just like videoing Conrad, right? Like raking, right? And on the turn, this is PLO hand, Conrad goes like this, and a stack of green this big goes. It was like $500, like whatever he could fit in his hand, but it was so smooth. Let me make sure the camera sees it. It was literally
no
like
idea.
bang,
so
like
wrong.
as the card is coming, he just like you couldn't even notice it. You needed, we had to replay it like over and over, and Conrad's like, I don't give a fuck. like, are you making money in this game or not?
Yo, at this time, this is what I was told to do. I was told nothing else but to rake. Like, it didn't matter about anything.
It was also
Take as much money off that table.
No,
as you
listen,
possibly
it was
can.
also the incentive for him to rake a lot because you're getting a piece of what you drop at the
Yeah,
time.
but I was
right?
also never told not to rake at any point. My man said,
They weren't
yo,
like, hey, here's
yo,
the cap.
Yo, Monkey I'm going to say his name. I don't give a fuck. Monkey used to pull me aside and say, listen, don't worry about it. I'll take care of anybody that has an issue. Do what you got to do. Yo, between me and Neil,
rich.
Yo, between me and Neil, we used to rake like $12K a night.
No, I know.
It was absurd.
I know. This is why he had a job.
This is why home
everywhere.
games are
No
scary.
wonder
to
you were
me.
sought after.
No, he was the most sought. He had a job at every place in the city. Like, there was like 12 games. It's like, so Chin, where are we going tonight? I'm like, I could put you in any game.
Just smooth hand Conrad over here. Just
It's good to have an employable skill, Conrad.
I did find my way into every single game. It was pretty
Literally.
I mean,
it was incredible.
I can see why you're a valuable asset
incredible.
to these game runners.
No, it was, dude. So then, obviously, you guys are gonna get to me eventually. But like, he would put me or Oscar in the game, and he would never rake our pot.
Sure.
Right? Because he's staking us, right?
Right.
So
Nor did I ever fucking win one time, but go on.
yeah, like he would find the way. He just never raked us.
Let's talk about your early days. I think there are a couple stories that are.
I mean,
are worth
everybody
mentioning.
kind of knows my stuff because like we've been on this podcast a lot. But like, yeah, that's kind of how I met Conrad. I went on Craigslist. Like when this was back. Yeah, I went on Craigslist and I was like poker game, and then like so they had like an ad, I guess, like and then so I text this number, and they text me back, and they're like, "Are you law enforcement?" And I was like, "No," and they were like, "Okay, come to this address."
they really vetted you there. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the full vetting.
Right.
No.
So I go to the address. Like some people know it, some people don't know, but it was like a factory. It was a rug factory, and then like it was literally just like the movies. Like you knock, and then like there's like a camera looking at you. They let you in, and then you go in. It was like fake chess club. Then in the back there was like this like curtain. You open the curtain that leads you to a cashier. You open the cashier, and there's Conrad going, just dealing. And that's where I met Conrad. And that was the story with the aces, where it was literally my first time playing. I brought like $300, and some guy goes all in, some Italian guy, and and I started tanking with aces, and I'm just like, I just don't want to lose, like, right? And he's like, eventually like, what do you have? And I'm like, I can't say it. And he's like, jacks? I'm like, no. I'm like, better. He's like, queens? I'm like, better. He's like, ace king suited? I'm like, better. He's like, no. I'm like, yes. And then eventually,
it was real life.
eventually I'm like,
Definitely
have
takes
aces. And the guy's like, no, you don't. And I'm like, all right, I guess I call. But I'm like, I think I'm going to lose to a flush. And then like it runs out. And he shows ace king suited. And I'm like, you see, you could have hit a flush.
How about the time that you tanked for 4 minutes with, I believe it was tens, when it was like I don't know, probably like a 30 big blind jam at the time.
I don't remember.
It was like we played 1-2 at my house. It was the first time you ever played at my house. You take for 4
Yeah, I mean, I was literally like, those were like the first one. That was the first time I've ever played poker.
Yeah.
Like, and then after that, Conrad's like, this kid's a whale. Like, I'm gonna invite him to my home game, and then that's how I started playing.
The 6th degree of separation of all this of Chin to Berkey is one of the early stories I heard about Christian was he's playing an underground 5-5 game. And my good friend Mike Bertolini's in the game, who is he is a very big, boisterous Italian man who makes no qualms about being heard. And something happened between him and Chin.
I'll tell you what happened.
Okay, tell me what happened.
hilarious.
I open Queens. He calls with some nonsense because it's Joe Black's game in New York City. No one plays any ranges. He calls, and then he flops like bottom 2. And we get the money in. I counterfeit him, and he just starts like, "These fucking kids, they all play good hands." And then, like, because I was kind of like an asshole. Like I was just like, I won a big pot, and I'm just like, like just.
You were being.
That's
smart.
not what happened.
No. Wait. So then.
He showed up at Mungies.
No. This was at Joe Black's. So then he starts like saying like, "Oh, these kids, they play no hands. They only play good hands, whatever." And then I get a little out of line, and I'm like, "Should I really say it?"
Yeah.
I'm just like, you're fat and you suck. And he flips the fuck out. He's like, "If this kid is ever here again, I'm never coming back. Joe Black, get him the fuck out of here." Blah blah. Eventually he calmed down, but like he hated my fucking
The
guts.
first time I meet Chin, I'm with Berto in Brooklyn. He's taking us to Luger's. And I say, I'm with Lamanna too. And I was like, "Hey, can I bring my friend Christian? Him and his girlfriend want to come." And he's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever. Like, any friend of yours, friend of mine." And Chin shows up. And Berto looks at me, he goes, "You invited this fucking guy?" I go, yeah. Like, I've been coaching him for a while. Like, he's a good. Fuck that fucking kid. That fucking gap tooth motherfucker. I hate this fucking kid. I'm like, yo, chill out.
That's funny, dude.
What's the problem? He's like, that fucking motherfucker said that I'm fat and I suck.
Yeah, to give you an example of what Berto looked like when he came up to games, like he always had like this polo shirt on with like the pocket on it.
Yeah,
with
it's
full
stuff.
of $100 bills.
Stuff.
He used to come into Monkey's game with like $20K just sitting out of his fucking pocket. It was like, what are you doing? You're in the middle of Jersey City.
He doesn't give a fuck. He's a made man. He knows nobody's messing with him.
While he's pulling up in his fucking purple Challenger.
Yeah. Oh, he loves that car, bro. He loves that car. He has the trunk full of fucking sex toys and shit. We were visiting one day in New York. He took us out to dinner. He goes, "Yo, come check this shit out in my trunk." And he pops his fucking trunk and pulls out this giant black dildo and just stamps it on the hood of the car.
That's crazy.
He goes, "You ever see some shit like that?"
I wish I would have had so much ammo if I knew all that. Like I didn't know none of that. I just knew.
Like real quick, backtracking when you rolled a guy with aces, I can empathize because in college one time, I remember that I was up maybe like $50 or something, but what I did know was I did not want to lose. Yeah. And I was playing Crazy Pineapple with some friends, and I ended up having like ace suited jack in my hand, and a friend of mine 5-bet jams, and I'm just sitting there like, I don't want to play a pot with you when I have aces because I can lose.
Right.
It's not no limit. Like you get 3 fucking cards, kind of like I'm a little shook right now. So I ended up folding because I didn't want to lose and like wanted to secure the W. And from that day on, I made a vow to myself to never do that fuck shit again.
Wow, I'm glad that you were at least punished. I wish Chin would have had a fucking flush made against him so he learned a little something.
No, it got better.
Yeah,
no, wait,
yeah,
it got better.
Punishment.
It got better.
Folding's punishment.
It got better. So then, like, I didn't know the rules of poker, right? So obviously, this is a big pot to me, right? So I get paid. He pays me in blacks, whatever. And those 3 blacks in about 2 rounds go straight into my pocket.
Yeah, going south on him.
Yeah, sure. Man.
And then eventually they're like, "Hey, what happened to your blacks?" Yep. I'm like, I didn't know anything. I was like, "They're right here." Like you can't. I wasn't even trying. I literally went like this.
He's like, come right here.
And they're like, you can't do that.
She'd be like, Conrad fucking raked them.
Conrad
I'm just like, oh, okay.
He
the
was
drop.
the first person to take money off the table. Now he's the first one to put money on.
It's
the table.
incredible that he's found me. Like, how on earth did we ever become friends? This kid is like the biggest nit deep down in his core.
I too am a nit at heart. Like
But-
I think you start one way or the other, and
Yeah,
it's
I
just-
mean,
that's
you
where
learn.
your roots are.
That's the thing, Berk. You have to seek your opposite. You can't just like get coaching by the same
Right.
nits. Like
I was so different. I had never played limit poker before in my life. The first time I ever officially went to a casino, we went to Silver Creek Card Room or Casino or whatever you want to call it. They had slots and poker, and they only had limit at the time. So Lamanna, myself, and our friend Greg, we go and we play this 3-6 limit game. And I get buried like $100. Can't take it. They start a shorthanded 5-10 limit game, and I'm fucking in. I'm just in with case money. I have like $300 in front of me. I get ace-10 suited. I remember scooping a big pot and snap racking.
That happened to me once in a limit game where I was playing 1-2 limit, and somehow 6 people got stacked in one hand.
That's impressive.
It was a 1-2 limit game, and I won a roughly $180 pot where I just had king queen on like king queen deuce, and someone would go like 2, call, get back to the kid. He would raise to 4, and people would keep calling out of spite, and I was like, I got top 2. We're gonna make it 6, and then he kept making it 8, and it's like, all right, you're gonna make it 8. I'm gonna cap it, and then everyone kept calling out of just sheer anger.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, board runs out. We're like a 9 is trips. I just table the king queen after no one has any chips left in front of them, and everyone just gets up and walks away. And that was my introduction to limit poker.
I remember being so shook when I sat down. The dealer had to like post my blinds for me. I was just like out of my element. Like it took me half a decade before I was even comfortable to like walk up to a blackjack table with my friends and like feel okay standing there. Like the idea of organized gambling to me was so fucking intimidating.
Bro, Conrad was raking so much money that I stopped going to. I literally took a 3-hour bus to Atlantic City instead of going to play at his games until he staked me. I'm like, I'm not going. Like,
I'm pretty sure I've made a few people stop playing poker in general. Like,
yeah, you busted them.
Like, oh no! Like just like
Unbeatable rate.
they just watched what was going on. They were like, okay, I'm never playing poker again.
Yeah, like you know, like how live games have like a rake of like 1 big blind per hand. The Conrad games were 5 big blinds.
50.
5 big
Five.
blinds.
No,
No.
5 big blinds per hand, and you're playing
No,
50
no,
hands an hour.
blinds per street.
No, you are out of your mind. It was no less than 15 big blinds per hand. and
No,
that's
you
not
have to
even
remember this.
close.
The games at the time, the standard was 10% no cap.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, and that was the bottom.
How is that beatable?
No, it's not beatable. You just gotta.
I mean,
hope-
not now, but like then it probably. Lamanna and I used to beat a 1-1 game
Conrad
where
was the
it
best
was
player in the game.
Lamanna.
No,
and I
but that
played-
was the base. Conrad was.
Lamanna and I played a game at that same Silver Creek Casino when they first started No Limit. It was 1-1 no limit, $40 min, $40 max. So you bought in for 40 big blinds.
Yeah.
It was a $4 rake and a $1 bad beat drop. We beat this game for thousands.
Yeah. Not the first night.
Thousands.
The first night, I think I lost $600 somehow in that game.
Well, I mean, it's super
$600
possible.
after
in a
that,
five and a
I
four.
got a hang of it.
But Silver Creek wasn't your first experience live, right? What was your first experience in the casino? It was
Can we
AC,
show
I
his
think.
photo?
First experience was AC. I went there with my dad, and it was the same thing, right? They didn't have no limit hold'em. That's how
Right.
old I am, right?
Wait, so you lost $600 in a 1-2 limit game?
1-1, no
One-
limit.
1-1 no limit.
$40 cap.
Yeah. How many buy-ins is that? 12?
That's 7.5 buy-ins.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Well, it's 7.5 buy-ins, but it's only
Yeah.
6.
Just a little downswing.
Right. I just know from like the way the game was played back then, chips didn't go in the pot that easy.
No, bro, we would be like,
Wait,
we'd
what?
be like all in for $6 on the river and get folds into like a $200 pot.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
You ever
But
bluff
It was
that
back in the
spot?
same bet era. You would bet 4 on the flop, 4 on the turn, 4 on the river.
You probably bluffed so much in that spot.
I mean, yeah, but like, you know, in weird ways, like we'd have ace king that we would just play to the death and like, you know, jam river for quarter pot and they're just mucking.
So
What a game.
my
Anyway.
first casino experience, I just turned 21. My dad takes me to AC, and I'm can't wait to go to the Taj. You know, I've seen rounders, and I'm just like, yes, I can't wait to get there. I go. They have 3-6 limit. I sit down. I'm playing. This is probably my dad didn't even come to the tournament. He was playing like blackjack at Bally's or wherever we were staying, and I just lose track of time like you do playing poker. And I'm up. I'm crushing it. I'm up like $500, and all of a sudden over the loudspeaker I hear telephone call for Brian Lamanna. My dad calls
Pre-cell phone.
He had no. Yeah, right. This is it. I didn't have a cell phone, and he was just like, he had no idea that I could play poker for that long. It was probably like 3 a.m. He's worried sick that someone like hit me over the head and like took all my money. And he's just like, where are you at? What are you doing? I'm like, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if you got mugged or what. I'm like, all right, I'll be home in a little bit. But that was the first experience. And then I probably didn't think I really made it in poker until I win a full tilt package to the main event 2006. I'm so excited, right? Oh my God, I'm gonna get to play the main event, and
I want a party poker package that year. We
You
got
want
to
a-
stay.
yeah,
Yeah, we got to stay
exactly.
at MGM.
right.
They put
right.
us up. Party
So,
poker
like,
did it right.
I remember they gave you airfare, hotel, and the buy-in, but you had to like wear their gear. So I'm like, I have my full tilt.
But did
your
you feel
track
like
jacket?
cool though, because you were wearing the full?
Well,
tilt?
as you can see the picture, I was like, I have to get some good shades, and I'm gonna look cool.
Oh, they didn't get to those glasses.
And I don't know who the person was that snapped that picture, but that picture just lives on.
It's iconic.
Because-
His mother
So
has this
good.
picture framed,
I love
hanging
literally,
above the
she
fireplace.
has
at
it
his
framed
house.
This is
at
awesome.
my house. All right. Not only that, I played the main event for the next 15 years, and every
That
single
picture was
year,
15
day
years
one,
old?
my mom on Facebook puts that picture like. Not because like
That's
it's
pretty
funny,
awesome,
because
though.
like, hey, that's a cool picture of Brian.
It's
Brian,
such a
put it
meme
on.
to the rest of us.
Brian, put it
Brian,
up
how long
and-
ago was
and
that?
put
2006.
2006.
Yeah, we just looked it up.
16 years ago.
2006.
2006.
Yeah. Every year she puts it up. Good luck, Brian, with the
I love that.
shamrock emoji, and that just blasted
Clover
out.
emoji.
For 16
Yeah.
years, it's been a meme.
Bro, that's cool. Though. Like, it's cool that your mom
16
like.
years
No,
does
I mean
that.
that's
Hell
a mother's love, right?
Yeah,
She's just
that's
of
cool.
course,
That's
of
super
course.
cool for sure.
She's got his Can-Am poker
Yeah.
championship from Seneca,
I
Niagara,
just-
all the way back in 2008, just
wa-
sitting on the mantle.
I wonder whatever happened to those sunglasses.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Do you think I was gonna get rid of these?
That's
I
incredible.
will
Big
hold on to
Versace
these
shades and
forever.
shit.
Wait,
Yeah.
Brian,
Those
can
are
I see them?
iconic, dude.
What?
Can I see them?
You can see them, yeah.
Wow, this is like a passing of the torch.
Oh my god.
I'll never forget the first time that Lamanna took me to AC where we could actually afford a hotel room.
Wow.
We were playing at the Borgata, but obviously we can't stay at the Borgata because it's like, hundreds of dollars a night.
Oh no.
And we're grinding like, I don't
like
know,
Daft Punk.
2.5 maybe at the time. So we go there and he's like, don't worry, like I have this spot that we stay in. It's perfect. It's like $40 a night, right? I'm like, okay, yeah, sounds great. And he takes me to this hooker hotel that's like off the highway in the middle of fucking the worst desolate area
Over
you
toward Borgata, right? Like,
Yeah,
on the opposite
On the
side.
other
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
It's this like
Nobody
run down.
goes there.
Like I'm positive you could rent this place by the hour and just like bang a hooker in it. And he's just like, yeah, this is our place. Here you go. Like, here's and we have to walk to the Borgata across the fucking highway. And I'm just
That's
like,
nuts.
oh my god, we're gonna die in this place. And like, I was so shook the first year of playing poker. It was so against everything that I stood for, like traditionally speaking. I'm like, I'm staying in these seedy hotels that are somehow worse than the places we were staying on baseball trips, which were fucking dumps to begin with.
You should have got paid.
Well, man is just embracing it. He's like, it's not the Garage Mahal.
That's right. Hey,
You should have lived like
it
us.
was a step up from the Garage Mall, you know?
Yeah.
What?
I said they should have lived like us.
Yeah,
We
had-
always
we had a
free
good-
rooms, Borgata, Harris.
Yeah, we lived.
You
in
guys
the, we
came
lived
so
in
much-
in the free room era.
Yeah, but you guys came so much further after. Like, we
Yeah.
were literally year one the Borgata was open. Like, they weren't giving shit away
No,
for free to some
no.
young kids who are grinding
True.
1-2.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
You
They
get
probably
free-
didn't know my age
You
by
would
what I
get free
gambled.
rooms for playing 1-2.
Yeah, you used to get free rooms all day, like for a week. Like,
Wow.
So yeah, you would get like 3 days for me, 3 days for Conrad, 3 days for Oscar.
Well, poker was like so much bigger then.
Yeah.
It was like it was more of like a main stage thing, I
Yeah,
guess.
but
Now
they
they're
used to
just
also like
oh.
play
Yeah.
baccarat, and
I
I
was
didn't
we
play
did some
anything.
DJing
Okay.
at this point in life.
Naturally,
Let's not get that
naturally.
twisted.
Yeah, it wasn't an accident that Conrad kept his dealing job.
No, absolutely not.
Your poker stuff started with the penny jar, right?
Technically, yeah. I mean, LeMan and I used to play these like home games where we would use pennies for chips. They would represent quarters, but we didn't understand really anything. We played bomb pots. We were the original inventor of bomb pots. We would ante a quarter, and then everybody would get their 2 cards and would see a flop. So we didn't have any pre-flop betting rounds in No Limit.
People should check out Origins on the.
Yeah, that's true.
bomb
Yeah,
pots
we
on
detail this.
Shout out to Pigtails Production for
Yeah.
doing that documentary for
Wow,
us.
you guys started bomb pots.
Technically speaking, we didn't know what the fuck we were doing, but yeah. And I was the cheat because I didn't understand table stakes. So every
How
time I
long-
wanted to bluff, I would just grab the penny jar and bet it.
How long did it take you to find out that there were no clocks in the casino?
There's no clocks in the casino?
No.
I guess.
yeah,
just
I learned.
now.
Hey, same.
Wait,
I
wait,
didn't know
wait.
that
There's no
either.
clocks in a casino?
No.
No, I knew that, but like it
You know
wasn't a
how I
detail
found
that
out? I'll
thought.
tell you how I found out. Like, I was at Tropicana, and we would take a bus from New York City down to Atlantic City, and then they would like give you like a voucher or whatever.
Sure.
And at the time, like my phone died, and I had just lost a huge pot, and I'm like tilted, and I'm like, okay, what time does my bus go back? And I'm like looking for a clock, and I'm like, and I must have scoured the whole Tropicana, and I'm like, where the fuck is the clock? Like, I have to go. And then eventually, like, I ask a security guard, I'm like, what time is it? And he tells me the time, and I'm like, where are the clocks? And he's like, son, there's no clocks in the casino.
No windows, no clocks.
No clocks, no
They
windows.
don't want
And I'm-
anyone to get lost, lose
I
track
also
of time
was looking
very
for
easy.
windows. I'm like, yo, what time is it? Because you could like kind of tell. But
Yeah.
I was like,
If it's bright or not,
nothing,
yeah.
dude. It was
Wow.
incredible.
I didn't know that. I didn't know
You
there
didn't
were
know
clocks
that?
at the casino, yeah.
No
I mean,
clocks,
you're
no
not really
windows.
telling what you did those days, like your grind. How you used to go from Metro PCS.
Yeah. yeah. I worked at like literally. I would just leave work like on a Tuesday. I would put my work. This was like right before they changed it, like to T-Mobile or whatever. And then like I would put my work like right, whatever. I would leave work Monday at 5, and then go straight to Atlantic City, play 2 days straight because I didn't even know there were like hotel rooms available until like I met these guys and stuff, and they started getting them. And then I would come back Thursday morning at Atlantic City straight into work, which was, dude, those were the best days. Like,
Yeah.
those are the best days. Like leaving work, go straight to Atlantic City, play 2 days straight, come back to work.
I never had a job. I wouldn't know.
You never had a
No, I
real
quit
job either,
like
right?
immediately.
At
Yeah.
this time, like in my beginning, I was a Manny. So I used to go straight from poker games, ending at like, I don't know, noon, 11 the next day, and just go straight into taking care of children.
I do remember I worked for my uncle during the summer, like just clearing off pipelines. And I do remember I had to be at work at like 7 a.m. one day, and I was in Polish Hill with you playing with those guys in the quarter 50 game that we played. And I had been up all night. I won a few $100 or whatever. I rushed from downtown Pittsburgh to where I had to be, which was probably like a 45-minute drive, if not longer. And as I was getting through Leechburg, the light by the Dairy Queen, I remember I like started to doze off, and I was just like highway hypnosis. Couldn't. I had no idea what was going on. The light was dead red, and it had probably been red for like minutes. But in my head, the light didn't even exist. And I'm just hitting it at like 50. And as I'm about to go through the intersection, I look to my left and see a car coming, and I just hard right it towards Melwood.
Oh my god.
Like as if that was my intention the entire time. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, I almost died. Then I put in a full day's work. I hadn't slept. Like I'm running a chainsaw and like all this heavy equipment.
Heavy equipment. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Machinery.
someone's gonna die.
Honestly,
This
not a
is-
lot has changed. I literally leave Bellagio and come here.
No, you're sick. You're absolutely
You're
sick.
on that grind.
Honestly,
now. You're
it's
on
not a
that
lot
Bro,
of
you're
shit.
absolutely sick. At some point, like you have to have enough money where like you don't need to put in 3,000 hours.
No,
anymore.
like you have to do it, bro. You have to love the process. You tell me that all the time.
Yeah, the process, not necessarily the actual work itself.
I don't know. I just like
He's a
playing.
humble poker player in the Bellagio.
Sure. All right, that's going to bring us to a conclusion today. I hope you guys enjoyed this trip down memory lane. If you want a little bit more on my origin story, Brian's, and Christian's, check out Origins. It's a docuseries that we did. It's on our YouTube channel. You can see that playlist there. Also, don't forget, coming up, we do have the Poker Out Loud Academy. Anybody who's interested in that can sign up at academy.solveforwhy.io. And lastly, don't forget that this time next week, I'll be in Pittsburgh streaming every single day for BetMGM. So we're going to be dealing with a lot of March Madness sweats. I think they gave me a little bit of money to gamble in the sportsbook with, so we'll be splashing around.
I think
and lastly,
you're giving away 5% of that, right?
Yeah, whatever happened.
5%.
We forgot about that because the first episode had a little bit of technical difficulty.
Yeah, that episode got cut.
No. The people of Pennsylvania, you guys stick together.
It's true.
Yeah.
You guys are like one.
Yinzers unite.
Yeah, you have to do
The
something.
money can
you
only
can't
be
go
used
back.
on Heinz 57 ketchup.
You can't go back to Pittsburgh and not give your people,
You just have to give something away,
It's
man.
really generous.
You have
of
to. So the 5%, it's just a little tax for the people.
You're my
It's
mod.
not even
so
a tax. It's like
you're my mod. You'll have to come up with.
You're
what,
just thanking them for their support.
You'll have to come up with whatever giveaway we're doing.
We ain't doing shit. Nobody's getting anything.
No.
No, I am giving away a bunch of stuff. I think we're giving
Conrad's
away
getting the rake from that
I think we're giving
giveaway.
away like 10 phase tickets a day that are $55 each, trying to give people a chance to get into the main event.
You're giving them away?
I'm giving away.
Well, Conrad's giving them away.
Nice.
And yeah, I
himself.
suppose
Yeah.
maybe I can do some sort of giveaway where
No,
5
but listen,
people
this is
get
how it
1%.
works. Look, he's not giving away anything unless all you start commenting your favorite story of all these stories. If you comment, what's your favorite story? We'll pick someone. They'll get 5% of the main event or something.
Yeah, let's just do the main event.
That's just the main event because then it's hard
fine.
to keep track, right?
100K guarantee, 1K buy-in. I'll give away 5% to the main event to a lucky.
I mean, also, but hold on, time out. The heads up part is they're putting 10K extra in there.
They are putting 10K extra up top.
I think that you can give away 5% of that as well.
I don't look. Nobody wants 5% of my heads up action. I'm not very good at that. I gotta eat too. There's a lot of ketchup to buy when I get back there. So yeah,
I think that's fair. 5% of the main event to someone that comments below their favorite part of the stories that we all told.
Must like as well.
You can like it as well.
Please like and subscribe. All right, that's going to wrap it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this extended version of Only Friends podcast. If you haven't already, please click that little bell, subscribe to us, leave a like, a comment, anything that will help us in the algorithm. We appreciate you all so much, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Peace.